What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Feels like I just did this a few minutes ago, but I needed to make sure I got all of my feelings out, my thoughts about DC, the license going from McFarlane Toys over to Mattel. So, if you'd indulge, go check that out. I'm all about hearing everybody else's thoughts, not at this exact moment, though, because I'm sure a lot of people will be entering into the chat, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to unload their feelings about this because it just happened today. I think they were waiting till Lyles Figure Files before they made this announcement. They could have done it any day of the week. I'm going to say they waited till Thursday just for us to discuss it. So we will, right about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock, just so we can get a little bit more folks in here and talking about it. Before I get started any further, as always, need to make sure I thank the Lyles Figure Files VIP members: MOC Turtle, Henry G, Tom Finn 2018, Ryan Daly, Jay Woods, Jamelin Parks, James Green, Lefty T Lions BK, Robert Hayes, Nathan William, Retro Robo, John Morrissey, David Thanos, Blake Tarpley, and Loston Wallace. You guys rock. Thank you so much. In March, look forward to some more exclusive videos just for you and some polls. Let me know which things you want me to focus on in terms of videos. Maybe we can choose the topics for Thursday night lives and so much more. So I'll keep breaking that down for you. And as always, giving you an exclusive as time permits on videos. This one today, I wanted to get out earlier for you guys, but time got away from me big time. And also, I want to thank the super supporters for the super chats last week and throughout February. Kwame Taylor, Alexander L, and Ryan Daly again. Thank you all so much. Hope I've been putting out the videos, the content, controversial hot takes, such as it is, for your enjoyment. I do appreciate your support over here at Lyles Figure Files. So, man, that was fast. So people have already gotten in here, and let's see what's up. Vin Doom, Evening Figure Files crew, Mr. 3 Stacks, Jeffrey, what it is. What's up, Vin Doom? This should be an exciting show. This is going to be interesting because I'm sure a lot of you all have takes on it. I'm going to start starring them. So when we get over to that McFarlane Mattel discussion, I'll pull from you all first. King Collector, the King, is in the building. What's up? What's up, King? George Savory, I will save yours for later as well. King Collector, you had a busy day at work, didn't you? David Thanos, hey, yo. Blake Tarpley, what is up, Figure Filers? Hey, Jeff, can't wait to hear some big news. It's not just big, Blake, it's huge. Ryan Daly, what's good, y'all? What's up, Ryan? How are you? And away we go. Been too long since I watched that. Being a fine figure. Hello, Jeffrey. What's new? So much. We'll talk about it all tonight. How are you tonight? Ace Raider. What's up, Jeffrey and everybody? What's up, Ace Raider? How are you? Justin Huber, the movie guy. Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command. Do you read me? What's up, Justin? How are you? Devin B. Hello, all. I'm just stoked we got Mask. I'm talking about that too. Dark Knight 297. What's good, Jeff and the Figure Files crew? I'm ready. Let's go. G Brew. What's up, boys? What's up, G Brew? Oh, the possibilities. So many, Blake. So many. Emmanuel, I'm saving your star for later. I'm starring your message so I can talk about that soon. Lawson Wallace, what's shaking, Bacon? What's up, Lawson? How are you? Roberts, Infinite Realms, evening, Jeff and chat. Been a good week. Not just a good day, a good week. That's awesome to hear, Robert. Hope all is well on your end. Felix Guerrero, what's good? JC and Figure File crew. JC. Who's JC? Blake Tarpley, smash that like button. Do it. Do it now. What's up, Blake? Like button engaged. Thank you, Austin. Parash Dallas. What's up? Got to get this Batmobiles and deluxe Bat figures now before they skyrocket in price. Probably a good point. Ren's rocked 80s rants and real talk. What up, though? Had to make sure to catch this one. What's up, man? How are you? Oh, those. Don't worry, Rash. I got you on spell check and translating what you were saying. Felix Grail, 42 people and 9 likes. The math ain't mathing. It rarely does. It's all good. All about the villains. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? JTO, I'm saving yours as well. Alpha Proto, wow, how things change. I know, I had the shelf all set up and now chaos changes. Probably not going to change too much though. They fit in pretty well with this shelf space. Chris Daughtry, I'm saving yours as well. Jay Winter, what's up, brother man? What's in the news? What's up? How are you tonight? Let's see. Man, okay. A lot of people want to talk surprisingly about this McFarlane deal. Before we get into that, though, what did you all get this week? I've been trying to play catch up on figure reviews. I did manage to shoot my Walmart Titania, and outside of the obvious, I am quite happy with this figure outside of her hair articulation. Still, I mean, they even made sure to give it a wave so you could get in some articulation there. But the way that neck joint is, it still hinders it. And the fact that she didn't have her gloves painted, I'm upset about that. But a solid figure. I wish she were a little bit taller, but she's a fun. I wish she were a baller too. I like this figure. She's pretty good. I did get my Super Battle Droids Clone Trooper 2-pack from Hasbro Pulse. Very excited about that. No straight eyes for my giant man as of yet. What else did I do over there? I guess that was all. What did y'all get this week, though? Any plans to mod? Yes, I am going to absolutely do the acetone trick that everybody's doing. And I have to check my notes because I feel like Ryan sent me some paint advice for this little V section here. Because apparently you can just acetone this main section, but that little bit there, you need to paint. So I got to remember what everybody said on that. Alpha Proto, Power Rangers Lightning Collection gone. Now DC Multiverse gone. What's next? I mean, NSYNC said it best, and baby, you're gone. I don't think it's so much gone as it's just going somewhere else. And we still have the rest of this year. Remember, it's only February. And if any license holder can crank out a bunch of figures in 10 months, it's McFarlane. Let's see. Felix, like the LA Lucas zip up, though I'm a Knicks fan. I don't mind the Knicks. I actually like watching them play when Ewing, Mason, Oakley, and soft batch Charles Smith couldn't get that layup in or just dunk it once. And John Starks, I like that crew of Knicks. They played a different brand of basketball. I dug it. ICT Vinny, my Walmarts are still waiting to get the Secret Wars wave in. Can't wait to grab Titania. She's fun. I don't know so much about the others, but she's really cool. And I really wish that wave had more of the Secret Wars characters that we haven't had multiple figures of numerous times over. You beat me to the baller line. Ah, very good. See, I was wondering if anybody else would get that one. McFarlane had done that Titania. She'd have been a heck of a lot taller. She would have been scale busting. And man, this Power Girl figure is so good. Let me see her. I haven't actually finished laying out the review yet, so those pictures aren't up on the website. But man, Power Girl is such a sweet figure. And if she were alone in her own little realm where there were no other figures, she would be my favorite that I've gotten so far this year from McFarlane. But just to give you a look at how insane her scale is, here you go. I mean, that's actually Comic Superman. He's not a small figure, but I mean, she is literally, I mean, she's so close to patting him on the head. He's one of the few that can actually look above her, like, so she didn't have to go, hey, Clark, my eyes are up here. Not so cuz, but it's just, man, he had gotten that scale right on her. One of the best figures in the wave and the whole line. And one of them that I do really dig that I got also and just opened up thanks to my guy Henry G is this figure that I will show in just a second. And I had these guys posed up in my photo booth for the longest like this, just because I was so excited about doing this. Batman and Robin, the Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly version. I love that both of them have soft goods capes. That was so fun to actually be able to pose. I was like, man, this is exciting and cool. Bring on that terrible Red Hood design too. Please don't. But yeah, it was good stuff. All about the villains. Finally got Kilowog and half 2-pack. And Kyle 2-pack. Nice. They're good. Both of them look cool. Henry G, what's up, Jeff? What's up, Henry G? How are you? I was just talking about you. My Thursday Figure Files crew. Then Doom was able to pick up Power Girl, Captain Cold, and Platinum Guy Gardner, all pre-order from Best Buy. I still need to get Captain Cold. I feel Best Buy just have a minor sale, a minor one on let's see. Of course, I'm gonna go there and the sale's gonna be over. But they did have a very minor sale on the Green Lantern from the line. Yeah, let's see here. DC Multiverse. I should have just done that. Oh, let's see. Cool. Here you go on Best Buy, since you mentioned it. We've got 100 sheets, 29, 29, 22, 29, 29. Again, this figure, this penguin is so good. Cannot recommend them enough. Yeah, here you go. They're on clearance, $6 off of the Green Lantern core figure. So yeah, maybe you'll go to Platinum and really be happy paying $24 for them. I need to get a couple so I can fully army build my core that looks like it won't get a whole lot many more members, but whatever. Ryan Daly, haven't got any new figures in a minute. What's up, Ryan? But I got one of those Fire Escape display shelves, and I've been decorating that with my street level Marvel Legends brawling. Nice. Was anybody doing any kung fu fighting, by the way? David Thanos. I got both Mooders coming in tomorrow. Just got the notice for the new. That was the other thing I meant to put on my deal here. It was funny because I had a whole lineup all set, ready to go. Here's all the stuff I'm talking about. It was like, actually, you've got something else to discuss. Let me make sure I get that up here though, because I definitely want to talk about them. I can't believe Mood is coming to you tomorrow. That's crazy. Justin Huber. Today I received my 30th anniversary edition Buzz Lightyear from the Disney store. Yes, he has Andy's name on the bottom of his foot. Nice. I'm going to save that one. I can't figure out how to say your name, but I'm saving it. Couch Citizen. Hey, what's up, brother? Literally posing my clone troopers right as you mentioned them. Got mine the other day. How are yours? Because I mean, that was so I love the fact we got 2 packs of clone troopers, super battle droids, and battle droids. I mean, you can literally build an army for your separatists, your republic factions. It's such a great way to do that stuff. Devin B, what's up, man? I got my Captain Cold this week. What do you think? Secret Wars Wolvie, Superpowers latest wave, Miles Morales. Nice. ICT Vinny. I asked 2 different Target workers 2 different days to finally get the Toxin Batman from the back. Couch Citizen. Shout out to the Knicks fans. Hey, go for it, Knicks fans. Have a party. Robert. Huge week. Might take 2 posts. Biggest thing I got is the Playmates Voltron in the box is huge. Hulkbuster and Odin. I caved. Masterpiece. Masterverse Panther. Right. Masterverse. Is a mass divorce because people are buying too many figures. Masterverse Horde Trooper. A good deal on them. Nice. And let's see. Jay Winter. What's up? Pre-ordered the PS5 Spider-Man 2 Venom and Symbiote Spider-Man. They were must-haves for me. They look really cool. Saving that prescribed drone. Is it your Friday? Stacy Hash, what's going on? Fist bumping that like button. Hey Jeff, how are you? Jibru, I had my pile loot shipped this morning. McFarlane Cyclops, Storm, and Frazetta Girl, Vampire. Been reading OG Vampirella. Quite good. Got John Carpenter's The Thing t-shirt. Nice. Golden Arm 17. Those Nick teams were some of my favorites. I was rooting for them so hard in that finals. And I was like, man, I felt so bad for John Starks. He bailed them out of game 6. And for whatever reason, he became the GOAT the way it was intended. And in game 7, when he could not buy a 3, but he was the one that dragged them to that game 7 in the first place. Felix, still trying to track down a Power Girl. She is worth it, even though she's way out of scale. She's such a great figure. Black Void. Short answer, yes. Yes, I'm going to buy them. Nice. Alpha Proto, that Power Girl reminds me of a line from the movie. Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo. Now I got to figure out what that is. Dark Knight 297. Just got in an 11-figure haul plus some hand accessories in today from Big Bad Toy Store. What was your favorite ones? Henry G. McFarlane really just doesn't care about scale, I guess. Drives me nuts. But you know what's funny? When his scales off is like crazy, but it's not like he has the market on out of scale figures. Let me see here. And hopefully someone will have this picture at the ready on Google for me, because I really wanted to do this. And because it was just like, this is what bugged me to absolutely. Oh, maybe I should do it this way. Classics. Because this is a better way of showing how. Oh, this is perfect. Yes, this one. Great. Because Taz doesn't have the market on, whoa, these figures are terribly in scale with each other. Let's use this one. And I really feel like, for the grief he got. Oh, I see. It's from the Fush. That's why. Fush is down. Has anybody tried to get on there lately? Because it's been down the last few days. This is Mattel's DC Classics Titans. Look at how Kid Flash is scaled the same height as Beast Boy, who's not in his chameleon or changeling outfit, which made no sense. They gave him that modern Doom Patrol look. Stargirl looks like she needs to get a sandwich. Same deal for Wonder Girl. Now, I like Wonder Girl and I like Cyborg and I love Raven, but man, this Kid Flash was so annoying. He should have been the same height as them or even taller. And it just, it drove me nuts. The Legion of Superheroes, just as bad. No, actually, it's worse because they're all on a set. Don't get me started on DC Classic scale. But McFarlane's scales are crazy, but he's not the only one that has had that issue. If she was in scale with Nightfall Batman and Action 1000 Superman, Power Girl would probably be my favorite female figure from McFarlane. Yeah, she's really good. It's just like, ugh. She'd be so much better if she was in scale. Like, she'd probably be one of my favorites in the collection. She's so well done. Being a fine figure, picked up Power Girl. La Muerta, Batman Begins, and a tops pick, Roman Reigns, just as long as you acknowledge him. Alpha Proto, I got 2 Marvel Legend Venoms and some extra heads in this week. Nice. G-Brew, I got a pre-order arriving soon, notified from Big Bad Toy Store for the new X-Factor Cyclops and Husk. Man, I want my pre-order for Cyclops to come in. Jamelin Parks picked up Platinum Guy Gardner. Nice. Chameleon and a Micro Galaxy U-Wing in the wild. How much did you pay for the U-Wing? Because I went to Target the other day, not going tomorrow, and lots of stuff on that Micro Galaxy was on crazy clearance. There was something for $25 and now it's $8. So if you're into that line, check out Target on Saturday. Pile of Loot had Captain Cold, Guy Garner, Secret Wars, Cap and Wolvie, Blood Wolf, and Death Gas Station Canyon Sisters. That just sounds intriguing. I'm going to have to check that out later. Batfan, I'm going to save your comment for just a little bit longer. Robert, good deal on Ruthless Aggression, Kevin Nash, Cartoon Collection, Hordak, and Triclops, Rogue and Destiny 2-pack, nice, Dungeon Dragons, Zarek, and Elkhorn Shield 3-pack, Action Force Trigger re-release, hand and head packs, nice. Being a fine figure. Oh, the Captain Cold Collector Edition, very nice. Let's see. Justin, I have my Donald Duck Funko Pop standing in front of my Blackberry's Final Duel Luke Skywalker. Cool. Lawson, I had some 4 Horsemen Mythic Legion figures arrive this week. Oh man, that's terrible. Let's try it one more time. Necronomicus and a Skeletal Wars. And man, these names are made up. Torpukuli, an extra Power Girl from Lake, and Captain Cole. Nice. I'm saving that requirement. This is gonna be like fun. All right. I'm gonna do 10 more minutes and then we're going over to this Mattel DC stuff. Rick Cage, what's going on, man? Green Lantern, cannon gun beam in. Greetings, citizens. Like button press. I appreciate it. Also, got the Frazetta girl Vampirella. Frazetta Vampirella. Wow. It's killer. Great deluxe figure. She looks cool. Josh, I'm saving that one too. Michael Solis, it's Figure Fest time. Henry G. God in Motu Origins Real Blast, Masterverse Vintage Collection Skeletor. Been watching Transformers animated, so I picked up animated Optimus and Bumblebee. I feel like if you're a certain age, you start watching stuff, it's like, you know what? I should buy these figures. Like, we're conditioned, brainwashed, if you will, into getting this stuff. Blake, Jeff, my pile loot is bursting at the seams. McFarlane Infinite Earth's Robin. Oh, that's right. I need to get him too. New Attorney at Evelyn, 78 Superman, 3 Secret Wars Marvel Legends, Super 7 GI Joe Ramar, Action Force Praetor, third party Transformers. What about that partridge in a pear tree? Jamelin, I've seen Power Girl and Captain Cold in a while. Do I need to keep an eye out for folks? I'm sure I can find Captain Cold, but you might need to get Power Girl for some folks. All about the villains. Second half of 2026 is such a long time away. Kind of think some shenanigans might have happened behind the scenes. Henry G, yeah, you're right, Jeff. DCUC was notorious for scale inaccuracies as well. Yeah, they were. I don't know why it bothered me so much with them because I felt like they were I think what it was they used the basic base body. So when that's that wave 7, that was like what is happening? No, it was wave 4. No. Yeah, I think 7 was the one Flash and Kid Flash. I was like, what? What is this? Mind your business. They're passing around. It was wild. And I think that was where they just started going loosey goosey with scale. And then Big Barda was not. She was one I'm like, I've got to get the DC Direct because this one is not working. Rodney, good evening, Jeffrey. The Aquaman movie figure is pretty great. Then the air went out of Mattel's balloon. I'm not sure what that's the reference to. Max Williams, considering the Diamond Select just declared bankruptcy, I wonder if McFarlane might pick up the 7-inch Marvel Legends now. They're potentially losing DC. Well, they'd be in scale, right? All right. You win was 15. Nice. Let me see. Jeeber, that's from Guardians. That's why I was doing that. That word is made up. David Thanos, has anyone else gotten hooked on the WWE Topps Chrome cards? No, and I refuse to get hooked into something else. Michael Solis, my Jada Cyberpunk figures came in. Jada got me buying a new line. See, that's what you got to just hold off. King Lighter, pass. I like the McFarlane Power Girl, but I just like my DC Direct Infinite Crisis series one better. Poppy Capsulot. What's up, Poppy Capsulot? Picked up Marvel Legends Retro Black Panther. Nice. Psycho Man. Chameleon and 78 Superman. Where'd you get the 78 Superman from? Oh, Lou. What's up, Jeff? Back at it. You better believe it. Every Thursday. Oh, let's see here. Rick Cage. Unpack the pile of loot. Guile, Cammy Bison. All mint in box. Model Kit, Liberty Knight. Who's that one? 4 Sentinels, 8-inch. Nice. 2 multiple men. My faves are mint in box, Jeff. Nice. Excuse me. Jelly Jam. What's up, fam? What's up, Jelly Jam? How we doing? Christopher Vose. Bigger still. Doncic or DC. We the North. Go Raptors. Go. Henry G says, I have extras on Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, playing that blind bag pre-ordering, hoping for those chase figures. Good luck. Lost it. That would be the worst. If McFarlane releases a big Barda before his runs up, I bet she'll be too short. Now that would be the craziness. I have not. I'm waiting. I checked my spam. Like, where is this email? It has not arrived yet. You got it, Rick Cage. Cars ride by with a booming system. My man. Maurice. Good times on all. Living in interesting times. You know, it's interesting because I feel like everybody who lives in whatever time they are thinks it's interesting times. But we're definitely living in interesting times. DJ Jedi. Oh, yeah. What's good, Loudspeaker Files gang? Gang. No, I am saving your comments because I am going to reference all that DC McFarlane Mattel stuff later. I can't even say her name. So no, I'm not ignoring your comments. I'm saving them for that talk. I like this one. Was lucky to pick up that Power Girl chase from Big Bad Toy Store. Nice. I'm glad you liked it. It's a really cool chase considering that's a new look. It's already outdated, but that was cool that he did that version. Got the 78 Superman from the DC shop. How much was it from them? Henry G is a great person. If you need help with, again, he's helped me out with a lot of figures. That Damian Wayne Robin figure in the back. Those extras are available if anyone needs cost plus shipping. Very, very basic and simple. Easy transaction. Highly recommend. Cheaper. I wish I could live in far less interesting times. I am with you. Hambone, saving that. All right. I have her. Whoops. But she's way too tall. Yeah. I mean, it's just wild. Her scale is out there. Oh, let me see. Michael Oresco. Marvel Select has been killing it with their figures this year, especially their big Hulk figures. That new Immortal Hulk, the Red Hulk, can go with the new movie with Harrison Ford Red Hulk display. How many Red Hulks do you have on display? Because they've made a ton of his figures now. Maurice, I'm hoping we get a proper Supergirl. Yes. Zatanna Black Canary. Yes. Let me see that one. Lawson, best surprise about the Multiverse Power Girl. Her rope is actually not hard plastic, but a flexible rubbery plastic that's not too shabby. Yeah, she like there's a lot of great stuff with that figure. Okay, let's get into this topic here. Oh, let's see here. Doc Avenger. Oops. There we go. I got Mayfex, Bane, Mezco, Doc Ock, and Doc Nocturnal, and a couple Marvels, Kane, Electro, Chameleon. Nice. DJ Jedi, Spider-Man Unlimited arrived yesterday. A week early to boot. Nice. All right. Now let me go deep into this deal here. The starred comments. We're going to talk now about the big news today. McFarlane Toys is losing the license to DC figures. Mattel is getting them back. And I was just like, what a shock. What a surprise. People were like, no, it's been foretold. Remember, he said it. Again, I have to post this picture again because it just, hold on, please clear that off real fast. We've got so many great DC figure photos available online, and this is what the LA Times uses. Like, come on, that is so boring. I mean, there's so many cool figure photographers out there with great DC classic figures. Anyhow, so Mattel wins back. Lucrative rights to make DC themed action figures and other toys. We don't care about that. We're only here to talk about action figures. And PJ Lewis, Mattel Senior Vice President, says you're dealing with some of the greatest superheroes and some of the best action figure potential in the industry. Of course, what does potential mean? Potential, is John Thompson famously said, will get you fired. It's all about making it happen. Let's hear what you all have to say about it. You can watch my video where I'm talking about it really briefly. I was very curious to hear what y'all said. Let's start off with Doom. A little sad McFarlane is done. I like this line. It got me back into collecting after 30 years. I'm with you. I really wish there was just a way that, if you dug a line, you could just have that company keep doing them. And, there's another company once in, they can have at it, and you can just stick with a company that does what you want to do. I want to go back real fast to this Times article because it says here they're going to be doing these figures, starting in the second half of 2026. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Mattel will, of course, start their figures in 2026 in June or July? Does it mean that McFarlane, was it a straight up year to year, like January to December, or, is it March 2025 when he got them? Because there was a moment where, let me see if I can find that really fast, where they made a big announcement. Hey, we've got the license again. McFarlane extends DC license should, since there we go. I don't know why I'm spelling it a different way. Of course. Great. So here we go. This is from our guys over at the Toy Book. Got it. Let me see. Now, this is the announcement way back in May 2023. So this is interesting. And this might be helpful. Give us a little bit of insight. So this is from the Toy Book. This is when they released this. So maybe we're doing a little bit of really fast on the fly investigative reporting. Maybe that means May is when the license wraps up because it extended to 2025 or 2025. So maybe if this goes on, let's see, over the next 2 years, do we get any details? And that was it. That didn't help. But I guess maybe that gives us a little bit of insight. So maybe that means it's done in December. I would love to see them just get like another quarter into 2026 because that could potentially mean another 15, 20 figures from McFarlane. I mean, it's like every other week he's cranking out 2 figures that go immediately to Target. Then there's like a Build-A-Figure wave. There's a movie tie into Batman. We still got a few more Batman movies to get to. Got some Superman movies. I mean, it would be incredibly disappointing. We got that amazing Christopher Reeve Superman and no Phantom Zone villains for him to fight. No Lex Luthor. Shout out to all the fans of Gene Hackman who are going to miss the ruler of Australia. I mean, gosh, it was rough news. And then it's just like, what a weird week it's been on that front. But yeah, we got to get those figures, those four from Superman, the Kryptonian Phantom Zone villains, Lex Luthor. And while we're at it, I wouldn't be upset getting Lois Lane either. So we'll see. George Savory, I'm happy that Mattel is getting the license back. Now we get some proper 6-inch DC figs to go with our Marvel Legends. I feel like that absolutely needs to be the case. Like, there is no point to them getting the license to do a 3.75-inch scale, to do a 5-inch scale, just so they can fit in with vehicles, nor do they need to go 7 inches or 8 inches. If they're going to go back and make the investment to get DC figures, they need to be straight up compatible with Marvel Legends first and foremost. They also need to be able to dip in and have like your Superman or your Batman be able to beat up a bunch of Cobra Troopers. Because I mean, that sounds like a fun way to go. Or having anybody battle the Serpent Society, offshoots of Cobra. I think that'd be really fun. So if they don't do 6-inch figures, I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. So we can only hope that's the case. Emmanuel Silvera, I gotta say I'm sad DC Multiverse is ending, but I really appreciate the line focusing on the lesser known characters, which is ironic because for like that first 2.5 years, like, dude, enough with the Batman and Superman figures. And then he went to such a wild, like, oh, you want other DC figures? Bet. Here's a Ragman figure. You want Agent Liberty? Here you go. You want Geoforce, a figure that Mattel never did? Man, how long has Geoforce been around? We're a classic Outsiders team. We never got that. That was cool. Not that we have a classic Outsiders team, but the fact that we got Geoforce in his basically classic look, that was awesome. And we've gotten so many random figures. We got a Sergeant Rock. He's not awesome, but we got Sergeant Rock. Who else is just totally unexpected? Blackfire. Got some cool variants in there too. I mean, that Power Girl is a really good example of another figure we kind of have. So they did some really cool stuff. And I feel like there's a good portion of the collecting fan base all said to start dumping dirt onto the grave of McFarlane. They've got their Grant Gustin going like that at the grave of McFarlane's DC Multiverse. But they did do some really cool stuff. They did some great figures along the way. Scale's a little bit wonky. They threw out the ruler a few times, but we did get some really good figures from them. G. Bruce says, McFarlane Mattel, just get me some new gods. Yeah. I mean, we do have Orion. And I feel like if you've got us Orion, we've got Calibac, we've got a Dark Side. What are there? 5 real key figures we need now for new guys? Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, Light Ray. Who we go with next? Dezad, Mantis, Steppenwolf, whichever way you want to flip those 2 characters. I'd love to see a few more. I mean, if you did it like a dedicated wave or, Build-A-Figure wave of 4, we can make some headway in that. Maybe they make Big Barda the Build-A-Figure. I mean, should be as cool as that Plastic Man, where she has different parts to her. I don't know. I'd like to see him just really focus and completing some more teams. He started some stuff. I'm like, all right, dude, you got to keep going with this. We need some more. I guess the JLA is just about done, but just need a few more figures here and there to get some of these teams knocked out and completed. JT Yoda. Hopefully, Mattel stops chases in the DC line, but continues soft goods, wired capes, and leather jackets. Now, I think what's going to be really interesting is when the figure community is like, wait, McFarlane did this, this, and that. Why can't Mattel do it? I need to start saving all these comments, not necessarily from you, JT Yoda, but just from people who are like, McFarlane figures are awful. And then they're like, oh man, McFarlane was actually doing some cool stuff. So we'll see. I'm with you. I feel like McFarlane was really pushing the limits of what he could do in terms of making money and keeping it going. Because I feel like if wired soft good capes were something that could get done, we would see more of those from Marvel Legends, because I mean they should have more money leeway to do that with their figures, and they've never really done that. I mean, we got the Doctor Doom was like, yay, cloth cape, but we're not seeing that on the regular. I mean, Doctor Strange would have been a great one to try that with. Vision would have been another one. I would love to see a figure in the Maximum series line with a cape, because I feel like a wired cape would be worth it, because people pay $33 for a soft goods cape alone. So we'll see. But who knows where they go with that. Leather jackets could be really interesting to see what they do. I feel like leather jackets in terms of Mr. Terrific is not the best example, because it didn't quite fit, and the figure's a little bit too small. I still like the figure because I'm a Mr. Terrific mark, but he's not the end all be all of it. And maybe leather jackets are something better accomplished doing with sculpts, not relying on soft goods. Chris Dosh, I want to see the DC Universe Classic 2.0 with improved articulation on par with Marvel Legends. I think you echo the thoughts of a lot of collectors. That's what they want to see Mattel do. That's where I'm at. I mean, this is going to be what mine is this again for me. Restarting a line of DC figures. There was the assorted DC Direct, DC Classic, actually DC superheroes. I mean, I should count that because I did get a Superman and Batman in that, but then expanded to DC Classics. Then we had DC Icons, which was exciting. A little too short. People were complaining. They're not at scale with Marvel Legends. Pay attention, Mattel. Then we had DC Essentials, too tall for Marvel Legends. Pay attention again. And then we got DC Multiverse from Mattel. They were kind of lacking in terms of articulation, but they were a step in the right direction. I feel like they had done them for another 2-3 years. Then we would have seen the equivalent of Marvel Legends. But just as they were starting to get good with those, they did have the really great Build-A-Figures with Clayface and Killer Croc. Those are awesome figures, and I have them as my main versions of those two characters. But then McFarlane came through and it was like, oh, what's the deal with these ankle joints? And he started getting better with his figures. So we'll see what Mattel does. I feel like I should do a video on the things that Mattel should take notes on and make sure to implement it with their figures based on what previous holders DC figures have done. Great idea, guys. Thanks. Being a fine figure. Get ready for Ultimate DC figures. David Thanos, time to scalp all the McFarlane. I'm curious to see what the prices would be, as I feel like people are going to try to offload their McFarlane figures. But I'm also wondering if the smart ones are the ones who sell them off sight unseen with whatever Mattel's going to give us, or those who go, wait a second, those Mattel figures are terrible. I'm not going to sell my McFarlane figures. So it'll be really interesting to see where this goes with that. I guess I should get that 78 Superman. I mean, Justin, if you haven't gotten any of the figures before, there's no need to buy them now. Todd losing the license. Did he look under the couch? Good one, Lawson. Appreciate always some good puns. I'm all about it. All about the villains. Well, the good thing is McFarlane still gets to keep the 7-inch line until it's just getting the 6-inch line. I feel like I'm missing something there. I can't translate that one right. We'll see how many figures he cranks out. I mean, it's still at least 10 more months, and the leak list rumors, what he's shown, the New York Toy Fair, really exciting stuff. So, I mean, there's no reason to suspect if he focuses he could get more of those Justice League figures so I can have a full shelf packed to the rafters there of all the main satellite era characters and finish the JLA roster. He can do more. He can do the Outsiders, Doom Patrol. There's figures he can do that he can knock out pretty quickly. So we'll see. All right. I'm just absolutely not able to pronounce your name. My humblest apologies. We remember McFarlane, DC Multiverse, like Toy Biz Marvel Legends. McFarlane Toys really lost opportunities to make DC action figures. They definitely are not going to be doing them after the middle point of 2026. It might be the end of this year. We'll see. But yeah, I kind of feel like he's done some really good stuff. I keep saying McFarlane Toys did some really cool stuff. The DC figures, the DC license, really wants, oh, you guys want an actual variety of figures. I mean, that Dark Side was really well received, and he's done some of the best versions of some of the DC characters. I know people like, oh no, but I mean, he really has. And excuse me again. I put up some of these figures like that Penguin figure, the Joker, the Riddler against the best we've gotten from any other company. Really well done. Prescribed Drone. I quit Toddy last year, but the funny thing is yesterday I was sorting figures for eBay and like 5 were Toddy Max, but now I'm thinking of just keeping a few and purging. Yeah, it's totally up to you on that deal, but I think he did some really good figures. Batfan 1. Mattel should forget about competing with Marvel Legends. They should set their sights on the Mafex crowd collector. There's no way, because unless you go with higher price figures, you're not going to compete with Mafex. And if we've learned anything, the Maximum Series Spider-Man, action figure collectors do not want to pay $50 for figures that should be $10. So we'll see. I mean, I just don't think they can win on that end on so many levels. Christopher Vose. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello. I'm probably all in if it's Marvel Legends, like 6-inch modern articulation and not superpower style. Give me Question, Black Canary, Captain Boomerang, etc. to go with my 112 stuff. No, you said to go with your 112 stuff, like your Marvel Legends or the DC Classics line. Let me know what you were saying on that end. Kwame Taylor, with all the people complaining about Hasbro, I would love for McFarlane to take Marvel, so I don't have to hear people cry about Hasbro anymore. Why did we not appreciate Hasbro? That would be the new cry, Kwame. Joshua Knox, from one company that makes cheap looking figures to another. All right. Daniel, 808 Grunt, would Mattel do a better job at scaling? I feel like they've been away for a really long time. Now, if you take a look at their DC Classics, if you look at their WWE line, for the most part, the WWE figures are scaled properly against one another. Now, if you want to look at who does a great job of scaling, this is zero to do with Mattel. It has nothing to do with Marvel Legends or DC figures, but I was finally unboxing my Phantom Menace figures from Hasbro. That was just really like, great job, guys. So here's Jar Jar Binks. He's taller than Obi-Wan. He's a little bit taller than Qui-Gon. And Anakin, shorter than Padme. And she's looking up at all of them. That's great scaling. And that's something that the Star Wars line excels at. Like, there's not a thing where it's like, why is Palpatine looking eye to eye with Vader? Everyone's mashed up exactly the way they should. And I would love for Mattel to really pay attention and to care about scale, because we have some Marvel Legend figures where it's like Warbird, who is too small. She's too slight. And Titania, she's a great figure for the most part, but she needed to be a little bit taller. So I definitely need to do my suggestions, advice for Mattel when they're starting up their DC line, because they should take these lessons from all these other companies and implement them with what could potentially be the end all be all DC comic book figure line. We'll see where that goes. DC Direct was real action figure same time with Mattel DC. You see, we haven't text of agreement. We should see in future how it can be in Doom McFarlane Toys Lost Opportunity. I don't know. Nameless Void, make DC figures 112 scale again. Ha, see what you did there. I feel like they're going to. I want a blockbuster Build-A-Figure deluxe with two fists, two open grab hands, and an alien head sculpt from Mattel, McFarlane, Mayfex, or somebody. He should be 8.5 inches tall. I think you're better off with McFarlane. And this is something that I feel like people, the crowd who wants Hasbro to lose Marvel Legends doesn't consider. A character like Blockbuster is not going to be a priority for Mattel. He might be a character they get to in 2030. He's not a 2026, maybe not a 2027 or 2028 character. He's just not popular enough. He's not in any movies, any cartoons. And it's like, oh, him? Now, Les Mattel has somebody who is deep into the lore of DC and really sees and understands the DC library of characters who would do an excellent job leading in line. Just jokes. I wish that would be a dream job. Being like, no, collectors want this guy. We'll make it work. Who cares? We'll make it affordable. But I think that a character like Blockbuster is definitely somebody that we could hope that McFarlane would do. I don't see Mayfex doing them. Mayfex hasn't given us a Green Lantern, a Wonder Woman, a Flash, Martian Manhunter. I mean, it's like, and I'm talking about comics. I know we've gotten some of those characters from movies and whatever, but we don't have the dedicated comic book looks to those characters. So Blockbuster is not getting done by Mayfex. I think McFarlane, I mean, Blockbuster is a big, hulked up dude. He might be a good option for him. So maybe we'll see him for McFarlane. Ham Bone. I'm happy that Mattel has a license now. I think you echo the sentiments of a lot of people. Maurice, I'm hoping we get a proper Supergirl, Zatanna, Black Canary, and Hawkgirl before McFarlane sailed off into the sunset. They definitely need to be priorities for him because it can't be a thing of, oh man, we never got a Black Canary, but we did get Agent Liberty. That'd be terrible. And while we're at it, excuse me, we need a classic Green Arrow too. I mean, it's like time is ticking. That's another video. The essential DC multiverse figures from McFarlane we need before the license ends. Californication. I'm late. So is McFarlane keeping the license still? Yeah, through the end of this year for sure. Then we don't know how much longer he's got it. Maybe we'll know at Toy Fair this weekend. Henry G. So Jeff, you mean I have to start a whole new DC line? That's the real question. Should you? Would you? Will you? To me, it depends on how they look. I feel like I will, because I only get but so far into a DC line before somebody else gets the license. DC Direct was kind of frustrating because they would do really good figures. And then, all right, we're moving on to another artist rendition of these characters. And this line you were collecting, sorry, we're not doing it anymore. DC Classics was pretty good until the end when it felt like Toy Guru was really going, well, I want these figures. I don't care about these really essential ones that are left. These are the ones I want. Sorry about the rest of y'all. DC Icons had a lot of promise. They just didn't keep going. I feel like if they had done another year of figures, we'd still be talking about and still be buying DC Icons figures. DC Essentials, just they didn't care about scaling on those figures. They were really fun, easy to pose. They look classic, but you got to care about scaling. Nightwing should not be eye to eye with Superman. And there's a whole lot of stuff. I think McFarlane's been fun, but I don't have enough of those to be like, I can't believe it. I mean, I'm clearly spent some money on McFarlane figures, but not enough that I can't just go, all right, we're starting all over again. Let me know what you're going to do. Mattel DCUC was much better than Mattel DC Multiverse. Just look at the action figures. Mattel has especially good experience with Masters of the Universe, and I just hope they will use it. You said Mattel DC Multiverse. I don't know. I like those figures. They were doing different characters too, so it's all good. Lawson, I want a proper Hawkman figure before McFarlane goes. Yeah, because what we have, that's not Hawkman. At least not the one I want. Alexander L, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat, my friend. DC figures needs to be compatible with Marvel Legends. It's the only reason I don't collect DC. They absolutely need to be compatible with Marvel Legends. That is undeniably what they need and what they have to do starting up this line again. Like, number one, first and foremost. Penguin Plastic-esque $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. McFarlane gained all the rights Mattel had, so I doubt he'll retain anything but a statue license. He did turn the 6-inch to 7-inch. Never impossible. Alexander L., thank you again for the $4.99 super chat. Mattel is killing it regarding Masterverse. Absolutely. New Attorney is an amazing line. It is. But Mattel makes great toys as opposed to adult collector action figures. I love the new Attorney line about the Masterverse figures, where I was like, I am not buying any more Masters of the Universe figures. I love my Mattel, my Masters of the Universe classic figures. They were so good, and I'm still buying new Attorney figures. And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I guess I'm buying them. So yeah, it would be great to see what they do with those. Now let me catch up to the chat because you all have been rolling. All right, let's see here. Get caught back up. I did a lot of talking. So let's see here. Let's see. Did it? See. The chat has been buzzing. Y'all are rocking it so hard. Thank you so much for for being patient here. There we go. Now I have officially caught up. Rodney Systems. Mattel's last two waves were pretty decent before they lost a decent. They were. Rick H. Did Tower Father get deboed by Big Bully Mattel? So some of my figure collecting friends said that McFarlane mentioned that he was really close to, not making a profit on his multiverse figures. And maybe with some of those different pieces he was adding, those innovations he was doing with the faceplates, with the soft good capes, wired capes, maybe he was not making much money on those figures. And, maybe it made it easier. I think Mattel, rumors online, of course, what they're worth, spent a lot of money to get the license back. So we'll see. I'm sure some of this has to do with them banking on James Gunn and his DC multiverse movies to pay off. And, we saw this with Paramount and Disney, where Paramount had the MCU license. Disney said, we see a lot of money in this. We'll take this after Avengers and we'll do our thing. That worked out pretty well for him for a long time. So I think that they're trying to get there with that. We'll see. Californication. Fawn Joy has been making everyone step their game up. I don't know about that. I don't know what Fawn Joy is. Doc Avenger. Wait, is this for real? Very real. It's in LA Times. Can't believe the LA Times. What can you believe? No, it's real. Hank Day. DCUC, baby. I have them all. Let's go. Alexander L. Ding dong, the witch is dead. ICT Vinny. Wondering if there are any Mattel peeps lurking in this chat. No way. If you are, hello. Take some notes. Max Williams. Has it been explicitly stated that McFarlane has lost their license? I don't think I've seen it officially confirmed anywhere. Okay. If you need it, here you go. Morgan. Directly from Mattel. It's a huge deal. Let's see. Mattel is still allowed to produce. Let me see here. Reclaimed, yes. So they will be doing them, not McFarlane. And Mattel lost now. So basically, they do. McFarlane will not be doing these figures going forward in 2026 at some point. Californication. Might have to sell most of my McFarlane DC figs then and stick to Hot Toys, another third-party 1/6 scale, and splash in some Fawn Joy. Okay. Blake Tarpley. The writer and layout artist probably said, ugh, we have to report on toys. Just throw it together. Use any photo you find. Yeah, I'm like, come on. It's like there are a million photos of DC Multiverse and DC Classic figures. And because I'm being obnoxious with this, let's see. Let me just type in DC Classics figures and see just what pops up on Google, just because I feel like there's no way they couldn't have found better. I mean, come on. They're like, hey, dude, we're going to use these pictures or this classic collection or even this one or this or this. I mean, it's like they found the war. I mean, again, I don't want to hate on this guy's picture, but geez, there's so many better ways to do that and make it more fun. Anyway, let's keep going. David Thanos, yay! No more ankle balls. The New York Times can't get the Superman centered. All about the villains. DC animated line is too good to stop. Robert, I'm hopeful Mattel gives us a DC line semi-compatible with Marvel Legends. I've wanted that for decades. DCC was closest, and Mattel Multiverse was getting there. I agree. I remind to all here that Mattel started a new line after DCC. Excuse me, it was Mattel DC Multiverse. Just watch those action figure guys and then look at McFarlane DC Multiverse. Doc Avenger. I hope they update the articulation. I'm all in at their 6-inch, and I hope they do some Hanna-Barbera figures. I wonder if that's lined up with Jada Toys because we see that they've got a Scooby-Doo figure line going, so maybe they're the ones that have the Hanna-Barbera characters. Eric T. Since McFarlane has only about a year and a half left, how many Batman and Superman variants will we get before the clock runs out? Will we get a deeper roster cut or nah? I think we still need the Nightfall, the DC Digital equivalent, or DC Digital Aquaman equivalent for Superman. Like, we've gotten some really good Superman figures, or decent ones, but I think we need a that's Superman figure for McFarlane. He's done enough really close ones that we could fudge it, but I think he's still got an ultimate best Superman in there. I don't think he needs to worry about any variants. There's so many figures he needs to focus on, though, who have not been done in their classic, most iconic looks, that he needs to focus on those before worrying about any other variants. No more Joker figures. So, he's got time. And I think, with time, he can knock all these figures out, or most of the big figures. And when we think of DC, he's got really good iconic figures. I mean, he didn't have a comic book Harley Quinn either. King Collector. Yeah, Todd can still pump out a ton of figures before the license is up. Absolutely. Henry G. So many classic looks Todd didn't get to. Hawkman, Hawkgirl, etc. He's still got time. Van Doom. I need a Mirror Master and Trickster from McFarlane now before it ends. Yeah, because you just know the Rogue Gallery is going to get pushed further. The Rogues, they're going to get pushed way back when Mattel gets it. They never got around to doing those figures. They gave us a Mirror Master. We got a bogus Captain Cold who was too short, and we got a Reverse Flash that was cool, but we didn't get Weather Wizard. We didn't get Trickster, Heat Wave. There's so many. We just didn't get them. Gavin Smith, wow. What have I woken up to? I'm depressed. Were you a fan of McFarlane stuff? Jalen Parks, oh wow, I hadn't heard about Gene Hackman. It was bad news, man. It was early on in the day. I think around like 5:30. I was like, whoa. Henry G, I think Mattel is going to upscale the DC line like they did with Motu Classics to Masterverse. So you think they would go with 7-inch scale? That would be kind of wild and unadvisable because, so many collectors just want DC figures to be compatible with their Marvel Legend figures. Lawson. I want a classic Huntress, Zatanna, Big Barda, and a Supergirl that's not a dude. Also a Batgirl without side eye. True. Steven wants to know, when did McFarlane get the license? Let me see here. It was 6 years ago, so carry the one. I feel like it was not. I think those figures started coming out to us in 2019 or 2020. I want to say then, and not so much 2019. Let me see real fast if I can look at my first reviews, because I was able to find an Action Comics Superman right away when they first hit it Target. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. And, you got some work to do. February 2020 is when I got the Multiverse Batman. And I kind of feel like January 2nd, actually. So it might have been January 2nd. So I did my review for the Action Comics 1000 Superman back in January 7th, 2020. So that's when those figures came out. And just to kind of give you a frame of reference for what I was talking about with the multiverse figures from DC and their DC classics. Here's a collection look of Superman figures. So you can see here the DC icon Superman, the DC multiverse from Mattel, McFarlane's version, the DC Essentials version, and the DC classic Superman. So, I mean, looking at these Supermen, which one is your favorite? Let me know. I mean, that McFarlane one really stood out like right away. If he had better articulation, he's the best one, best aesthetically looking Superman. But yeah, I mean, so they started right in 2020 in terms of getting those figured out to us. Ren, I just hope this time everyone doesn't share the same buck. Yes, that wasn't great. Captain Carrot is another one. You're right, Mr. Walker Collector. What's going on? Absolutely. Alexander L., the refusal to not go pinless or super articulated was infuriating. I'm wondering if he just could not work in super articulated figures. I think they had 22 points, which for the most part was okay. I mean, it certainly wasn't super articulated. It wasn't Marvel Legends, but I was able to get most of the poses I wanted out of those figures. They definitely could have been improved, but maybe that's just keeping that price point below Marvel Legends at this point. Jamelin, thanks, Jeff, for reminding me of all the multiverse figures that I haven't been able to find. It's so many, right? Maurice, that Captain Carrot was the figure that got me collecting McFarlane figures. Right. I mean, he did so many. Don't forget Metron. Thank you. Absolutely, Metron in his chair. We definitely need him. Blake, that McFarlane Fleischer Superman looks awesome. Can't wait to get that one. Yeah, he does. Maurice, Perez era Teen Titans, please. Anybody. Absolutely. Or Granny Goodness. You're right, G-Brew. King Elector. I bet Toddy already has a Marvel deal. He's probably going to step into that Marvel Select Void, great sculpt, and paint with less focus on articulation. Yeah. Dorman. Excuse my ignorance. You're just asking a question. You're not being ignorant. But the article doesn't say anything about the scale of the figures that will be produced. I'm pretty sure they don't know what they're doing yet. Is there any guarantee that McFarlane will lose the rights to the figures? Yes. No, it's let me see here. I can just find let me do this. Because they have since put out a press release on these figures. All right. So Business Wire now has, and they basically just repurposed the press releases from the companies. So let's pull this out here. Announced a global multi-year licensing agreement utilizing DC's entire license. Blah blah blah. Mattel is awarded the global license to develop and market a full range of DC-themed action figures, accessories, role-play products, and adult collectibles starting in the second half 2026. Let's see, is there anything here? No, does it have anything about the scale and all that? But again, we've been speculating they'd be really wild to not do 6-inch scale. So gotta assume that's what they're gonna do. And we'll see where it goes. All about the villains, throwing some more lanterns. That's true. And love to see some more Sinestro Corps and a few blue lanterns. Joshua says, I like McFarlane because it gave us things no one else has given us. The plastic was good and the price was good. Absolutely. Legends for me has nothing new to offer while DC was just getting started. Yeah. Dorman, or is there a possibility that the Heroes in Diapers will continue? No, not for McFarlane. They're absolutely not going to be able to keep going with it. Austin Collins, I was hoping the DC license would go to someone like Jada. They were never going to get that license. I feel like people were really hoping that they were, but McFarlane is still a bigger company than Jada, and Jada wouldn't have the money to get that license. I mean, Mattel swooped in and got it. McFarlane was not making a huge profit on the DC figures. Jada would have even less of a profit margin. They make less figures. I mean, it's just, they do really high quality figures of Street Fighter, of Mega Man. I think our best bet, the hope that makes the most sense for fans of Jada doing a figure line of superheroes would be something like Invincible or Ghost Machine, or some versions of the Energon universe. Maybe they could do Void Rivals. I just don't see how they could do a Marvel or a DC. They've not given us a full Street Fighter roster yet. They're working on it, but it would be such a slow trickle of figures. My local Targets are just now getting them Bison, Guile, Dawson in stores. I mean, you can get them from Amazon, but it's just like it would be such a nightmare for fans of Jada for them to get a DC or Marvel license. But as long as Mattel tries to give us modern articulation, I'll be happy. Give me a new John Stewart or more Bruce Timm style JLU figures. Now, see, you say that, but I wonder if they would do that. McFarlane started out doing Teen Titans Go Cyborg, some JLU figures, but I think he found that collectors weren't interested because we already got those from Mattel. We already got them from DC Direct, and there wasn't much interest in his take on those figures. They're sitting around in my Target shelves, and he did some cool Build-A-Figures with that, but it just didn't seem like there's enough interest. And with JLU not being a fresh property, unless they were able to make a new cartoon of it, I just don't see where that interest would be from Mattel's point of view in making those figures again. There's nothing, there's not like a JLU 2007 or something to spark, oh man, JLU was such a great cartoon. Let's make more of those figures. I don't know. I just don't see it. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the end all be all of this stuff. Andrew Davis, Jeff, did you ever do the giveaway show? Sure did, but no worry, more coming up. King Collector, I hope Mattel starts with the classics first. Batman, Harley Quinn, Joker, Penguin, and Riddler. No, maybe Bane. Would you like that for your first line? I'm so curious to see what they're going to do. Is it going to be Super Batman and Superman focused all over again? And how annoyed will you all be, or how annoyed will I be if it's, oh yeah, well, Mattel did that already with DC Classics. McFarlane did that. DC Direct already did that. Because I feel like what they're going to have to do is mix and not so much classics. We're going to see the modern DC all intakes of these characters before. And I think that's going to annoy collectors because they're like, I don't want this version of Jonathan Kent. I don't want Simon Baz. I want Kyle Rayner. I want these characters. And I think that's going to annoy so many people when they start trying to tap into modern day DC, and collectors and fans are gonna be like, no, it's not what I wanted. But I think that's gonna be part of this deal. We're gonna see some of those modern looks of these characters, not necessarily the classic takes of them. And speaking of DC stuff that's going on right now, we'll probably see an absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman from Mattel really soon. We're going to get this version of Martian Manhunter, the current JLU, the comic book version of these characters. Superman, no problem. Wonder Woman, basically the same. Batman, ditto. But Flash has a horrible new costume. And I think that's what we're going to see. So I know there's a lot of excitement. Oh man, we're going to get the satellite era. We're going to get the JLA from Morrison and Porter version. No, we're going to get the current day stuff from DC. And then maybe 5 or 7 waves from now, we'll get those classic versions that a lot of us, watching the stream, hanging out on YouTube, want to see. So it's just going to be a waiting game for some of those classic looks that we probably want to see in figure form get done in favor of the modern, what people can read at the comic stores right now. Austin Collins, I had that Mr. Terrific on my 6-inch shelf. It's funny because he's bigger and he doesn't fit in well with the 6-inch figures either. But yeah. Just a dad and his son. What's going on? If Mattel can do it like they're doing the WWE Elite line, I'll be all right with that. And the Elite line's fun. I love those figures. Doc Avengers. Just one Avenger. I'm sorry. Updated articulation, continued soft good wire capes, proper scaling 6-inch figures with power effects. I need Cobra, Parademons, Hive, Queen Bee, Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Finally, something is going right. See, the thing is, they're not going to touch these characters for a while. It's going to be years before we get to Cobra, Parademons, Hive, Queen Bee. Maybe Hawkman and Hawkgirl will show up, but I have a sneaky suspicion based on what's going on because I'm still reading DC right now. I'll show you just an idea of what you were talking about. You're like, oh man, I want to see Hawkgirl show up. I think you will see this version of Hawkgirl or Hawkwoman show up from Mattel first. We're gonna see this. That's what she looks like right now in Green Lantern Corps. She's hanging out with John Stewart. That's what we're gonna see in figure form first. If you're not reading comic books now, you're not gonna be like, oh man, that's awesome. I want to get that. You probably want an old school 70s, 80s classic era version of her, but we're gonna have to wait on all those classic looks. So, and for people going, oh man, let's get McFarlane out of there. McFarlane was doing both modern and old school pretty well with the figures, where Mattel may just stick with modern for a minute. Michael Solis, I'm sad to see McFarlane go, but I am happy that I might be able to get a 6-inch Batman under $100. I think you can still buy the DC Classic one for under 100. Tom Finn 2018. Of course, this news comes on the heels of the most satisfying, at least for me, wave of McFarlane Collector Edition figures. Power Girl, Guy Gardner, and Captain Cold. Yeah, sweet figures. It's wild the way that it happened, right? Lawson, if Mattel gives me Neil Adams classic versions of characters, I'll be on board. I don't expect they'll deliver anything like that. Have hope. Maybe they will eventually. Tom Finn, happy to be free of Todd's eccentricities, though. Yes. Jalen, I think most people are assuming Mattel will do 6-inch, but what if they continue them into the larger size? That scales with their successful Masterverse line. Can you imagine the very sensible collector community if that were the case? Whoo, boy. King Collector, yes, I'm gonna tell DC superheroes Clayface and Steel were standout figures. That Clayface is still my main Clayface. Such a good figure. Robert, look at what Mattel was doing with WWE while they did DC Multiverse. They made some huge strides in WWE, so they had the blueprint. Absolutely. I mean, I'm certainly not disappointed that Mattel has the license. I feel like they should be able to deliver. And when all the talk of the rumors of, hey, who's going to get the license? It's everybody gets the license all over again. I was saying Mattel could probably do a good job with so many lines. Like they could do Marvel Legends because they have familiarity with doing long versions of characters and getting them onto toy aisles. Or maybe some of these other lines we're not going to be able to. So I think they'll be fine doing this and it'll be cool. Going with anything? Did I forget? I'm trying to remember what the context of that was. Blake, Mattel can't go backwards though. They need to come correct with cloth capes, butterfly shoulders, and good articulation and scale. All right, Blake, let me put this question to you. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Which two of those are the most important? Let's say they can't get the soft, whatever. Which two of those are most important to you? Let's say Mattel can't give you all 4. Which 2 would you be happy with? Maximum Warp. No way we're going to complete Legion superheroes in the next 12 months. Yeah, I mean, I know that. Jeez. Mattel can give us a complete Legion of superheroes. And they had an 11 figure head start. Still one of the most mind-boggling decisions they ever did. Not doing more. Oh, Tom Finn. Going with anything that doesn't scale with Marvel Legends would not be smart. Yes. Justin, let's brainstorm here. Mattel should start out with the A-list characters first. We need classic versions of the characters. Batman, Robin, Superman, Green Lantern, Joker, Brainiac, and Sinestro. Oh, man. You know what's wild? For us, the classic characters are from 1980, 1970, like the mid 1970s. For so many other folks, the classic characters are 1990 versions of the characters, not what we consider. So, and then of course, DC has their own agenda. We got to push what we're doing now. I'm just saying that's what you probably need to be a little bit more leery of in terms of like, oh man, I want to get these figures. Because I mean, yeah, we all have these looks that we want to see, but oh, here's a great example of what we might get. We might get Lois Lane Superwoman, Power Girl in that jacket look. We might get Star Sapphire, Damian Wayne, Robin like that. Nightwing's outfit's pretty consistent. Poison Ivy's a good girl. Harley Quinn in that outfit. You see that horrendous Flash costume? Catwoman with her horrendous outfit. So that's what we might be looking at in terms of this lineup. So, on a rumored leaked list of what we're gonna see. Oh man, Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, Cyborg, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Green Arrow. Yeah. And then we see these figures. People are going to be upset thinking this isn't the looks that I wanted. And then, oh, Mattel is terrible. They should be doing the classic looks. We're not going to get classics all the way through, or at least early on. Maximum Warp, Doom Patrol might be interesting to see. I think he'd have fun doing it. Frankie G. The press release makes it sound like McFarlane is completely losing the license. They are. That is true. They're losing the license. So it's just a matter of, is it the end of this year or is it at some point early in 2026? G-Brew, Mattel should start the line with Supes, Bats, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Lex Luthor, Joker, Cheetah with a dark side. Get some of the heavy hitters right out the gate. Oh man. All right, let me pull this up here. Let me see if I can find a picture. Great. Thank you so much, Live Journal. Let's see if this picture will be big enough so everybody can see. Awesome. Well, Mattel did their DC Classics line. And again, they had a bit of a head start because they did DC superheroes and they were able to get a lot of Batman and Superman characters out right away. But when they got their line right away, they're dedicated everyone in the universe, everyone in the DC universe. This was wave one of DC Classics. So we got Orion, we got Metamorpho, Batman, who is our A-lister, Red Tornado, Etrigan the Demon, and Penguin. That was their first wave. Granted, this was with a head start, but that's what they came up with. And just as another one, Hasbro, Turn of Marvel Legends. See if I can get my Return of Marvel Legends wave one just to show you that while we go, this would make the most sense for them to do. All the heavy hitters, they never think like that. They're not going, oh yeah, let's put all of our everything up there right away. They're not trying to do that because they want to keep us on the hook for later on with these figures. More of them. Toy Arc, thank you. Always coming through. Great pictures as always. Let me pull this one up. This is what we got from the very first wave of the Return of Marvel Legends. So, well, not this Captain Marvel, but we got Scarlet Witch, we got Iron Fist, we got the Allfather, Hawkeye, and Machine Man wasn't the first one either. So heavy hitters are not really conducive for these companies to do right off the gate. They'll give us one or two, maybe even three, but we're going to get some fringe characters like, that's an interesting choice. So we'll see what they do, but they're not going to put a bunch of figures out there right away. Tom Finn, they'll lose a big part of their potential customer base from the jump. You're talking about not doing Marvel Legends scale? Yes. Nightfall 182 says, nah, the Mattel figures look cartoony and have awkward proportions. They won't be able to do decent figures based off the live action DC properties. They're going to be doing those too. You got to factor that in. So why is he losing the DC toy license? Because Mattel outbid him basically. Just a dad in the sun. That's it. Just comes down to that. Mattel had more money. Todd wasn't making as much, maybe as he wanted, as he thought he would, and it was just like he's getting squeezed in terms of making a profit and trying to bring in different stuff to the figures. So when Mattel came in with more money, it was like, all right, guys, you win, and that's why Mattel has a license now. Doc Avenger. This is going to be good. I don't need a lot of Marvel figures anymore. I can go all in on DC this time. Robert, we might hear something about the Disney license with Hasbro this weekend too. There's been rumors. Awesome. I love rumors. Jamelin, does anyone here get any DC figures from Spin Masters? I haven't. Make no mistake, Jeffrey. Todd McFarlane's making all the multiverse prime. I know I keep saying that, and I really need to stop. He's sitting on a stool at night, melting plastic, painting head sculpts, and he only sleeps when the Batmans are done. Because Daughtry, I'm bummed that superpowers is going away. Right. Because we're not going to get a complete JLI superpowers. Yeah, I mean, because he was doing really fun stuff with it. I mean, he brought back superpowers. Mattel didn't do that. So, I mean, there's a lot of good that McFarlane was doing. I am the knight. Just a dad and his son. I was glad I found the Platinum Power Girl. Still hoping to get the standard collector's edition Power Girl, though. She's worth tracking down. Chase, what's up, bro? What's going on? Lyle's Figure Files crew? Wait, did Hasbro lose the license? No. Read the thumbnail, bro. No, it's just DC is going back to Mattel and not McFarlane anymore. Rick Cage, just last night I was thinking I passed up Red Tornado. Captain Adam, don't buy him, he's too small. Wave Rider, just on double dip principle alone. Now what? Well, who gave us a Wave Rider figure? Michael, at least Uncle Todd McFarlane has backup lines like Spawn, Warhammer, 40K Demon Slayer. Is that Warhammer 40K? Demon Slayer figures, Doom movie figures, and others. I wish McFarlane could be doing Star Wars 7-inch figs. We'll see. Chris Daughtry, what about Balin and Shin Heidi scaling in Black Series? Yes, I mean, you're right. Those two were bad. They were the one or two examples that were bad. They were really random. Joe Freeman wants to know, does this mean there's a higher chance that Legends will keep the Marvel rights since Mattel was one of the few companies that were big enough to take on Marvel and other Disney properties? Great question, Joe. Yeah, I know McFarlane can't. Because if he was not making enough money doing DC figures, DC stock in terms of, collectors being interested, it's probably lower than Marvel. So yeah, I would assume so. I mean, who could take the Marvel license and do anything decent with those figures? Marvel Select is gone, apparently. So I don't know. I just can't see who could do it. Donovan, I don't think the DC license was working financially for McFarlane, and I think it accomplished everything he personally wanted to early on. A smart way to go with it. Jamie, I think Titania is a pretty good size. I currently have her posed next to She-Hulk. She seems about right. Yeah, she's scaled in just right to her. And I wish she were a little bit. I think it's just her hair. I think if her hair were a little bit taller, that would fudge where I think her scale issues lie. That review I did just get done, though. Pretty happy with it. So this is what I was talking about, where I think she's just a little bit shorter than I would like. So here she is with Dr. Doom, Claw, and Ultron. So, I mean, she's scaled right in that sense, but I just think that maybe she could have been a little bit taller. So you can see here, she's taller than Doom. And I think it's more just her hair if we got a little bit taller. So there she is next to She-Hulk. She should be an inch shorter, but I mean, that works. Mr. Madgus, the return of DC Universe. Bring on the Collecting Connects. King Collector. Now y'all are all coming like, hey, what about these Black Series figures? Jeff, you think the Star Wars Black Series Vader and Grievous is scaled properly? I just remember how huge Vader looked in Return of the Jedi when they captured Luke. I'm trying to think, which Luke Skywalker do I have against Vader? Because I thought Vader looked huge next to the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker from the Black Series. Let's see here. Quick. All right, let's see. There we go. Jedi Knight. Is this? Yes. Okay, cool. Sorry. There we go. Okay. He could be. Hey, I don't know. He looks kind of big to me next to him. I think he works. Red Examac 5. Red Examac. It's sad how I'm seeing all this. It's sad how all I'm seeing are assumptions. And I'm grateful fans of McFarlane stuff. People want Marvel Legend figures. I don't understand why people want basic cookie cutter bucks. Toddy Mac gave us art. I've got the figures. I like the figures. I'm not thrilled that he's losing the license. I would like to have seen him do more. I mean, that's the way it goes with DC figures. They get passed around all the time, basically. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping these next 10 months gives us some more great figures because I've appreciated them. I still have my massive collection of DC Universe. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would not buy another line of Marvel figures, but I've got several iterations of DC figures. It's just the way it works. I would not do this with Marvel though. Doc Avenger. I stopped going in on McFarlane after Lobo. That figure head sculpt was awful. I can't believe they let that thing on the building. Wish Lobo. He's done 2, 3 now. Michael Solis, we probably could have told something was up with McFarlane because they'll have figures go on clearance and then return back to the shelves. I mean, that's every line. Look at the GI Joe Classified Series Raptor. He was $7 and now he's back up for 34 on the shelves. Tom Finn. I don't see McFarlane investing much money in the line the rest of the way. Repaint City. I think he knew 2 years ago he wasn't going to renew. Nice. Highland Dread. If McFarlane is losing DC, and Todd needs to add Mad Hatter to the 66 line before he loses them. You think LA Times is lying to us? Eric Coates, you think Mattel will continue to make the superpowers figures and vehicles? I doubt it. I really do. I think McFarlane just captured that niche. I don't know if Mattel would see that being a viable market. Maybe it'll surprise us though. Christopher Rose, I have an extensive 112 collection. Buffy, Cobra Kai, G.I. Jones. G.I. Jones, nice. That sounds fun. G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Marvel, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Terminator, etc. DC would fit in well. Absolutely. Nightfall 182. Yeah, I don't see the hype over Mattel. They look like kids' toys. McFarlane delivered items that look more for the grown-up collector. That Reeves Superman, Mattel can't do that. In full fairness, if Mattel gets the license again, I doubt they're going to make them look kitty. I think they're going to try to match up the quality of Marvel Legends. They're going to try to match up with what GI Joe Classified series is doing. It would be really silly of them to say, our sculpting that we did for DC Classics or DC Multiverse is good enough in 2026. That would mean the line is going to fail right away. So, I mean, they're going to look better than what we saw last time they had it. Dark Knight 297. As a big DC Comics fan, I'm excited to see what Mattel does now with getting the license back. Hopefully, they're still 112 scale and better articulation like Storm Marina and Jada for the same $25. All right, let's ask the question. If they charge $30, are you still going to be invested in it? Because they paid a lot of money to get this license back. And there's been all kinds of speculation. Figure prices are going to go up. If they go up with DC, are you going to be happy with Mattel's figures? Michael Solis, DC Direct looked good, but had terrible articulation. Exactly. Joey Dye, Mattel had better character selection. I hope they make it compatible with Hasbro. Me too. That'd be fun, but I mean, you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures, and then an 8 field figure. We'll see. David Thanos, 140 people here and only 60 likes. Come on, people. Maybe it's only 60 people that like watching the thread, chat, the live stream, whatever. It's all good. Thank you, though, David. I'm sure you're one of those 60 people that liked it. Appreciate you. Penguin Plastic-esque. Superman line might be a difficult one. And yeah, the DC project. Before this new deal with Mattel, might want to buy every DC studio figure before then. Well, the movie's good. They'll make them again. Sam Spurgeon. What's up, Sam? Sam Spurgeon. DC Universe Classics, despite some paint problems on a few, were my fave. I like that they got into the Golden Age figures as well as the more modern characters. And I love their Golden Age figures. The Justice Society, I have a whole shelf of them. Classic and modern. It was amazing. I wish they got into a few more and added the All-Star Squadron characters. But yeah, really good stuff from them. Rick Cage, Toy Guru, vexed me with his females don't do well at retail attitude. Error. Black Widow sells out. Warbird sells out. Blackfire sells out. Starfire sells out. Power Princess sells out. Look up. Lawson, I have the original Motu figures, so I have no idea what to expect from modern Mattel figures. I just know that Batman better not have the He-Man dwarf legs in the half-sitting standing pose. Rodney, DC Essentials by DC Direct were pretty good but short-lived right before they folded. Yeah, they just needed better scaling. Red Exomac 5, not looking forward to basic bucks. We don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're going to sculpt. We have no clue. All we can do is make suggestions of what they should and should not do at this point, but we can't assume that they're going to do what they did back before. Back then, and the Four Horsemen sculpting, and there was a real void because Marvel Legends was not producing figures. So getting 6-inch scale versions of DC characters, like, great, we'll take it. And I think there was a large contingent of fans at that point who were happy because Marvel Legends would give us Black Panther and Wonder Man on the same buck. So people were like, y'all are using the same consistent mold for these figures? Great. This way we don't have any crazy discrepancies like that. So I think that was part of that as well. Stay guys. Howdy, partners. Sorry I'm late again. It's all good. Happy to see you here. DJ Jedi, stoked at the news. Looking forward to return to more accurate scaling, costumes that actually match the box card art. Was hopefully more than a handful of lady figures a year because Todd thinks girls are icky. The ones he does make it really good though. Did Mezco announce any DC figures? Not that I've heard of. Collector Disconnect, McFarlane for life. Sweet. G-Brew, McFarlane should try to get the Godzilla license. He'd probably go nuts with those designs. He's best at doing monsters anyway. That'd be fun. I am going to try to get this correct. Hylian Dread. I don't know how to feel about Mattel getting DC. I remember how atrocious they made Cesar Romero's likeness in their Batman 66 toy line. You said, yeah, I was reading it. I looked back and I was like, atrocities? The Red Lantern? From 6 years ago, they may have a whole new sculpting team. The Classified series line has changed up a bunch of stuff. They got rid of some of the people that worked there from the start. So there's no telling who's going to be designing these figures, what the scale is going to look like, what the articulation model is. Everything's up for grabs. Mattel hasn't done superhero figures in a minute. So I'm giving them a wide berth, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, all right, let's see what you got, little lady. And we'll see what they do. Jelly Jam. I wonder if McFarlane wanted out so he could do more statues. I wonder if he has something where he could do statues. We'll see. Ski Raider. I'm hyped. The 86. Oops. 6-inch DC? Yes, I'm buying if they're good quality. Price is not an issue. David Thanos, I'm getting the perfect B-Day. Is today your birthday? I'm so sorry if I missed it. Happy birthday. Legion of Doom 2-pack. Oh, what a rush. Good for us. Bad for you. Tell him, Paul. Penguin. Plastic S. Is Mezco one of a few lines that scale Marvel and DC to that pure 6-inch scale? Never seen comparisons. I can find some, probably not right now, but I think so. Jeeber, I think he meant Hanna-Barbera Super Friends. Thank you. That makes more sense for me. Thank you. Ski Raider, let's get the scale right. Absolutely. Thor got him. It's been so long. I can't wait till we're back at 6-inch scale for DC figures. Lawson, my question is this. Will people still want to buy multiverse figures knowing that the line is coming to an end? Will there still be the same demand now with each wave? Sometimes the final few figures in a wave are the most valuable ones to resellers. And the ones that were announced or leaked seem pretty intriguing to me. So, and then of course with McFarlane, that's like half the year. So there's still a lot more figures to go. Hopefully it's the ones that are really in demand at this point. Sea Raider's crazy because he just started lacing y'all with once. Andre Montalego. We never got any characters from the Gotham series show. Gotham was out of rotation in terms of being something that, oh man, we should do figures on them. By the time he got it, the show was done and there wasn't a lot of demand from people for more Gotham merchandise. If there were, we would see them. Thor got him. Mattel needs to bring it this time around. Cloth goods, hyper articulation, vehicles, the whole shebang. Alpha Proto. No way, Titan is shorter than She-Hulk, but taller than Power Princess. Legends got her just right. I've been taller than Doctor Doom, not so much She-Hulk. She should be shorter than She-Hulk. Northern Nomad. Bye-bye, 7-inch McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Lefty Two Lions, what's up? Yo! Just Googled it, 2019. Yeah, but it feels like they got those figures out to us in 2020. We'll see. Gingivitis 75, classics, baby. Lost in Mattel sculpting always looks soft. Always looks soft to me. No hard edges, too smooth. Alpha Proto, I don't mind mixing and matching lines as long as they're all in the same scale. Spider Louise, I'm late to the stream. Did anyone read the article? Yes. DJ Jedi, Mattel is already giving us great sculpts with the cloth goods plus a boatload of accessories at a great price point. WWE has Marvel Legends worthy articulation. I'm highly optimistic Mattel can pull this DC license off. I think so too. I'm hoping they can do that. Jelly Jam, thank you so much for $2 super chat, my friend. Todd could still focus on Image Top Cow figures. That would be good too. I think he could do great work with those figures. Lots of good stuff. Batfan 1, McFarlane from day one. Day one, it's just me. Oos said he was going to do figures that hadn't been done, but collectors are the ones crying. They wanted him to do classic versions anyway. No way. I do not believe you. The collectors are crying. Collectors don't cry about anything. Let's see. Alpha Proto. I did not like the look of Mattel's DC figures. I hope they do use the David Vonner prototypes as a template. Wouldn't mind collecting characters like that. DJ Jedi. Oops, there we go. I can click onto it maybe. What's happening? Ugh. Todd doing Image figures would be fire. I'd be all in on Invincible line from McFarlane. That's the one that I feel like Jada Toys would do great with because Invincible really needs the super articulation and more than 22 points. Like those from Jada would be awesome. Like that's the one I'm like, yo, Robert Kirkman, can I introduce you to Jada Toys? Make figures of the Invincible universe. It seems like a perfect match. Lawson, people just don't seem to understand. Hasbro and Mattel are the only two companies that have the money mechanisms in place to roll out big volumes of figures like you'd need with Marvel and DC. Say it again, Lawson. Savage Land, what's up, bro? Jeff, what is good, my brother? DC Figs needed a change from McFarlane. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people who thought that. So we'll see what happens with Mattel, what they do. Damien, Restory? Hey there, Jeffrey. To be honest, I only collect the Batman 66 and the movie Batman lines from McFarlane. No company is perfect, but I have no complaints on those two properties. I think he did really great work with figures from movies that I couldn't stand. I mean, the Batman and Robin, the Batman Forever figures looked incredible, like really, really good. Like, if I cared about those movies at all, I would be all over them. They look really great. So I'm with you. I thought he did great work with those and for sure knocked them out. Lawson and all the rest of the companies don't have the cash flow or the ability to produce that kind of volume. They just don't. Exactly. Northern Nomad, I think if McFarlane wants to stay competitive, he needs to start doing 1/12 scale. Maybe he's gotten a setup, a sweet deal where he does the 7-inch scale. Plus, again, he was doing Spawn in the 7-inch scale. I could not see him thinking, I need to make my figures that aren't compatible with my property. And not just like, oh, this is my baby, but Spawn, his property. His figures needed to be a 7-inch scale for him. Henry G, even though McFarlane is losing the license, I think they will swing for the fences this last year. So collectors will hold the multiverse line as the end all DC line. Oh man, I feel like such an idea for episode 2. Yeah, I mean, he's really done some good work. And I think once it's over, people will probably reflect back on it and go, you know what? that McFarlane DC multiverse line wasn't so bad after all. And now that's regardless how Mattel does with it, but I think people will appreciate what Todd was doing later on. David Thanos. Here comes some updated Rey Mysterio superhero figs and Penna and Joker gear. Who's that jumping out the sky? Devin Williams. Why do the crashes on those old DC figures look so horrible? This is the mold they made. Because they were horrible, says Lawson. Henry G, they have put out a ton of figures. They just need to drop some needed characters in their classic looks. I think that would really tip the scales really nicely. Like, there's just a small handful of characters to get the Outsiders done. Black Lightning in his classic look, Metamorpho, Halo, Katana. You can throw in Looker if you want. That's 5 figures. That's a team that's really easy to complete. He could do Doom Patrol in a wave. Maybe make Elastigirl the bigger builder figure. That's another team that's easy to complete, but one that he could really earn some brownie points with is doing the Freedom Fighters. Give us Uncle Sam, Phantom Lady, Ray, Black Condor. Maybe make Human Bomb the builder figure, and then throw in Doll Man somewhere. Done. Another team that's complete. And then I think another like a wave of Justice Society figures. I mean, it's possible because he's able to do those figures so quickly and knock them out. I could see him getting a lot of damage done in a year and a half. We'll see. Jamelin, for those that don't know, toy companies have to bid on licenses. All interested parties have to make a pitch. The licensor has to like the line plan, marketing strategy, as well as get their royalty fees. Yes, it's pretty involved with that. Figures of action reviews. Whoa, I'm late to the party. What happened? McFarlane losing the license to DC? Yes, they are. Zach Silverman. What's up, Zach? This is such a major bummer to me since Multiverse has been my favorite current line to collect. At least I can give up collecting DC when the license changes hands. I would love to know what the percentage of collectors, what the drop off, because I think a lot of folks go, all right, this is my jumping off point. When a line starts or a new company takes over, or say McFarlane has let's say just 80% of the DC fan base buying, how many of those will go over to Mattel's line? Will it be a drop off? Will more come on board? We'll see. I'm very curious about that. David Thanos makes me wonder if we're going to get DC Ultimate figs. I mean, there's still room for better articulation on those Ultimate figures. Penguin, HJ, Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, and Black Canary would serve good bucks to work off of. The first wave will focus sculpts on how to pay for the parts. Onward. 10 bones. 10 bones. Sorry. It's just why they came out like that. Most collectors that drop money are older. We always want the best classic comic book renditions. I'm all for new versions, but Mattel has a lot to prove. And they do. They absolutely. But I think that's part of when you sign up with a licensor, because I feel like if they didn't have to focus on some of these modern books, the Marvel Legends team would do 90s comic books all the way, 90s cartoon looks all the way. But we see they sprinkle in, like, the Spider-Man wave is a really great example. The latest retro wave is like, hey, you're Spider-Boy. I'm like, did not see Spider-Boy on any most wanted list of figures from Marvel Legends. Saw a lot of other characters in the Spider-Man verse. So I think it's just one of those deals where you got to throw in some love to what they're doing modern style. It'll be really interesting to see what they do right away. Like, how many classic looks we get versus the current looks that are going on in the comic books. What, if any, influence the movie looks they're going to have? Are they going to do a catch-all thing where we're going to get that Superman Guy Gardner look long mixed in with a wave of like Batman from his current look in the comic book and a classic looking Martian Manhunter alongside an absolute Wonder Woman? So many different directions and so many ways they can go with this thing. Henry G, would you mind if Mattel's new DC line is scale with the multiverse line, with McFarlane's multiverse line, or the DC Mattel multiverse line. That's when it got all wild and wacky. I would, because I don't think it makes much sense, because we know Mattel is not going to do the kind of detailed texture work that McFarlane was doing all the time with his figures. So I'd rather them try to match up more with Marvel Legends. I think that makes more sense just for me. Jace, I wonder if Mattel will start with a new Ultimate DC universe to get some new offerings out. You better believe it, bro. I mean, I see that. The absolute DC figures, we should expect to see some of those. Ben Doom, I hope he has the absolute universe on his mind to make before he can't. Yeah, I bet we're gonna get. It would make a lot of sense for McFarlane to do absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Get all three out before we got Flash. I think it's Martian Manhunter also coming, so maybe he knocks those out quick too. 10 Bones, I own all the DCUC run. Nice. And even then, they weren't as good as Marvel Legends. I want Mattel to come out of the box swinging with good sculpts, articulation, etc. Yeah, exactly. That's what they need to do, though. I like that design for Hawk Girl. I think that's when I posted that. Rodney, yes, the classic look of Hawk Girl. Soldado Collectionista. I feel like I butchered that one too. I got deep on DC Mac last year. Now this is going to take some time for me. Mattel can definitely compete at 6-inch with Hasbro. I think so too. Henry G, don't forget most collectors were hoping and assuming McFarlane 6-inch line, and surprised they went 7-inch. I wouldn't be surprised if Mattel did the same. I would be shocked if they did 7-inch figures. Jamelin, you think we'll still find DC figures at places like GameStop and Best Buy? I hadn't thought about that. I mean, let me look on Best Buy right now to see if there's some more. I think they're still getting Marvel Legend figures. I think they actually have that new wave of figures there. They definitely have some of these other lines, and not just DC figures. And I know they have some. Oh, well, there you go. Best Buy, right away. The most controversial figure of all 2025. They've got the Maximum Spider-Man right up. He's not there anymore. I guess he sold out. Agent Venom, he's right there. Go get him. They've got the current wave. They've got X-Men figures here. So yeah. I guess I don't see why we wouldn't see them at Best Buy. And GameStop, as long as they're around, they're going to keep getting figures from everybody. I mean, GameStop is more reliable with some figures than any other retailer. So yeah, I think so. Henry G, I only say that because companies do not care about compatibility with other companies. Henry G, what are you talking about? All the collectors are saying they have to, because that's what they need to do. I understand, and I'm with you. That's why I never got the complaints about the McFarlane figures not being compatible with Marvel Legends, because he wanted them to be compatible with his figures that he already done, the Mortal Kombat, the Spawn figures. That made sense to me. And but I think when Mattel gets it, they haven't done other scales. They've been doing 6-inch DC figures. I mean, it would be pretty good for them to have people who haven't purged their full collections, who might have had their DC Multiverse, Clayface, Killer Croc, being able to have new Batman figures that can work a little bit better with those figures and some of the other ones. So I think it makes sense for them, because you have collectors who probably still have their DC classics in their collection still. So I think that would make sense for them. Blake, Jeff, good articulation and scale and sculpt. Okay, I threw in another important factor, sculpt. I can do without cloth goods if those others are on point. Because I feel like soft goods really matter with cape characters. But if they use a soft material, and again, like I'm seeing on some of these Star Wars Black Series figures, where they're not these massive cones like that Doctor Strange, like the Vision figure, where it's just kind of flowing and it's not so cumbersome on the shelf, I can work with that. Now, granted, having the ability to pose a cape and not worry about the wire breaking, shout out Mayfex, is really great. And paying $25 for it, Even better. So maybe Mattel should be like, hey, Todd, how did you make that work and make it affordable? Because that would be awesome. Soldado Ross is going to be huge this and next year with DC McFarlane figures. I didn't see a whole lot last year before they lost the license. So, well, no. Red Exo Max 5. DC isn't Marvel Legends. No, they're not. Doesn't make sense to be like them. Say they're not like us. Ren, Beast Kingdom may be the one to do the classic DC figures. Their figures look straight out of Alex Ross Justice, which is a classic. But yes, I understand the sentiment. I'm with you. Devin B, will this make McFarlane DC go up in price or down? Like a few years now, or what? Maybe it'll make that Spectre figure from the classic or Crisis on Infinite Earths line go down. That'd be good. 10 Bones. Mattel and Hasbro team up to do amalgam figures. Let's have that. That'd be fun. Fiddle Chips. What's up? I already have a Mattel DC collection. They would truly have to create a superior, authentic product for me to be all in again. I think that is really key too, because McFarlane at least brought something new. Some people didn't like it, but Mattel, a lot of us probably looking on our shelves and we got 50, 100 Mattel DC figures, but if they do them really well, I'll start over. G-Brew. I'd be fine with modern versions with most of the characters I'm interested in. I honestly prefer the modern Wonder Woman look to the classic one. Alpha Proto, say it again. A company like Jada could never pay for the bid for DC. Exactly. Fiddle Chips. Wish McFarlane would have kept the license. Love this. We're getting a nice balance of people who are like, yay! McFarlane's losing. It's people like, oh man, I'm bummed out about it. Something. Of course, I prefer taking it back to the old school because I'm an old fool, but I would be fine with contemporary versions. Some of these versions look awful though. Alpha Proto. People may pass on the McFarlane figures, but I can see the vehicles going up in value. No one gave us the amount of vehicles McFarlane has. He did some really cool stuff. I'm not going to hate on him. Floor Boss, what's going on? Yeah, Mattel Creations need to straight up reissue their DC Classics 100% pinless on Superpowers retro cars. They would sell like pancakes to hungry lumberjacks. Ryan Daly, excuse me. Am I the only one hoping Mattel makes the DC figures at half scale so they can match well with HasLab Galactus? You might be. Lar A, I'm primarily wondering what vehicles might Mattel push out for DC. Which DC vehicles might McFarlane squeeze out in their final months? Which vehicles would you like to see them put out? I think most of them are really related to Batman. Can't imagine a McFarlane scale bug for Blue Beetle. Oh, wonder what's going to happen with DC Direct. Henry J, I think they're going to be done. Bobo, what's up? What's up, Jerry? Hope Mattel does 6-inch. Me too. AJ, I feel so vindicated. Not getting him any McFarlane multiverse. No offense to anyone who's invested in it. Glad I won't have to keep shelling out almost $100 for Mayfex to get 112 DC figures. Yes. Lawson, nothing Mattel does will make me 100% happy, just like McFarlane. I can't wait. King Collector, I wonder if Todd is making more money on his Spawn stuff than DC. He's got to. He owns Spawn, so he doesn't have to pay any penny to anybody else. He's like, hey, Todd, I'm going to pay you money to make Spawn figures. Great. I'm going to take it, Todd. That's what he's doing. So with DC, he has to kick something. If it's $5 of every figure to DC, that's less money for him. With Spawn, that's all going in his pocket. Floor Boss. Mattel Creations also needs to make their anti-monitor bigger than the HasLab Galactus. Stick it to Hasbro DC villain style. They're getting a good massive scale anti-monitor would be cool. And you're right, they've got Mattel Creations. That'd be really exciting. And speaking of exciting, Mattel Creations is doing their big thing next week. Yeah. So you can only imagine how exciting it could be next year when they're starting to talk and hype us up for what they're going to offer for the DC line. Fiddle Chips, Mattel just bid up because of the gun movies. I think that's definitely playing a factor in there. Jibber, I want Hasbro to keep the Marvel license. Me too. Lost in Titania's proportions are that of a shorter woman. She needed more of the longer leg look of the comics. You're right. She does because she was his absorbing man caught her legs. What's going on with it? Well, David Thanos, a buddy of mine, found the Doomsday and Superman 2-pack at Target on clearance for $10. Signs of things that come on 2-packs. I mean, this stuff was always going on clearance. I don't know if that was anything that was out of the norm for him. They went completing a Super Friends line. Oh, why? Did we get one from Fire? Patrick 2480. I was just buying a bunch of Mattel 2003 Batman Fig Select Sculpt Series DCUC to 2019 last year to catch up on ones I missed. How much were you paying for those in 2025? Fiddle Chip, say what you want about McFarlane. The man produced 6,342 every 43 seconds. He's getting those figures done. Blake, I just know they have to nail the first wave of Mattel DC. I wonder what a good consensus for us would be on nailing that first wave. Is it throwing Superman and Batman in the first wave? Is it putting Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman with a ton of really good B level players? I really think Mattel had a great idea with their DC Classics line, where they had that A-list character like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash. Then give us a supporting character, maybe a teammate, maybe a sidekick. That was a good formula. Then give us an A-list villain to match up against their A-list hero. Then give us a rando fringe character with some loose ties to that character. And then just here you go. This is a surprise out of nowhere character. And then a cool Build-A-Figure. And through, what was the first 7-8 waves of DC Classics, that formula was money because you had a hero and a bad guy to fight him right away. You had a teammate. And in Batman's case, with the first wave, you had Red Tornado for Justice League. You had Metamorpho for the Outsiders. You had Penguin to fight him. And then you had Orion for JLA Batman to hang out with. And then another character I'm missing on that, Etrigan, who could also team up with Batman. So that was really good and great. So I would love for them to do that. I think that formula works better than here's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash. Bam, beat that. Now they could do that because there's a ton of variations of those characters to go with, but I don't know. I'm really curious to see what they do. Lost, and Mattel's not going to charge 25. They're going to be at least 30, 35. They won't be as cheap as Multiverse. Guarantee it. Oh, absolutely. King of Letter, Jeff. Yeah, that Vader in picture scaled pretty good with that loot. What version was that one? My main Vader is that lesser known Disney Store Elite Series Vader. He's a little bigger. That's the Empire Strikes Back Vader that I have, and that's the Return of the Jedi anniversary card, Jedi Knight loot. So when I had him in scale and I was looking at the movie, because of course I do that when I watch and compare with my Star Wars figures, he scaled up pretty well to where Luke was to Vader in that. Gingervite 75. I love classics in all their simplicity, but I love most is the range of characters. I love them to see a Randall Scavenge new Legion of Superhero set. Aztec! Shout out Piffy. Wonder Twins redo, Amanda Waller. Yeah, and hopefully not the supermodel version of the Wall. Hate that. Bobo, some people ask, so this means Toddy Mack getting Marvel license, or so this means Hasbro losing Marvel license after the announcement of Mattel getting DC license? Where is the logic in those questions? That's a great question. Great question. I will just say that. Gingivitis. I like better engineering with the new Mattels, but hoping they will scale with my existing DCUC collection. So Gingivitis. Question for you on that one. Would you want your new DC figures from Mattel to look better or to fit in with your existing DC collection? I'm kind of torn. There's still a litany of characters that I would love to get for my DCUC collection. Rogues, more Legionnaires, and in scale Teen Titans to one another, more JSA, both Golden Age and modern. But I don't know. I think I'd rather them just start all over and give us better figures all around. And they could just get the whole lineup that we've got and then some for DCC. I'd be really happy. Now, the real question, though, is will this make me go, all right, I can start purging off my DCUC figures? Because these versions of these exact characters are so much better. And I guess it means how long will they have this license? Dark Knight 297. I'm good with 30 as long as the figures are good with good sculpt, articulation, and accessories. We'll see. Joe Freeman. Do you think we'll see that Mayfex Iceman next week? I thought they solicited their figures for next month, but yeah, I would love to see what they do with them because, geez, we need a good Iceman figure. Masheri, what's up, my friend? I hope I said your name right. Hey, Jeffrey, long time no see. This is shocking news, but I think I'll be okay one day. Blake Darby. I pick and choose the Motu Masterverse, but the sculpt, colors, and articulation paint are great. Very happy with Snout Spout, Trapjaw, Man at Arms, and Faker. Yes. David, Thanos, thanks. It's on Monday. I meant to say I get the LOD on Monday for my birthday. Nice. Very good. So we didn't miss it. Masheri, I'm still buying DC Multiverse and going to hunt down what I'm missing. And I have a pretty expansive collection I'm pretty proud of. Yeah, I mean, these are good figures. They're not perfect figures, but I think they're really good. And I think that was a problem, Maurice, with a Gotham line of figures. It just couldn't make them exciting. It's like, hey, look, here's Jim Gordon in his suit. Here's Harvey Dent. Here's Harvey Bullock. Here's Fish Mooney. Ugh. Lawson, Mattel has to bring the sculpting too. All the articulation in the world won't get me to buy an ugly tail figure. Why is that truth? Go Lakers. What's up? Floor Boss. The DC Comics heartbeat is simple. Classic and wild late 1960s, 70s color schemes. Thus, Mattel needs to reissue DC classics, update them without pins, and put them on 6-inch super powered cards. Done deal. Alpha Proto. WWE Mattel figures are 7-inch scale? No, they are. Do I have any wrestling figures here? Darn it. How is that even possible? They're a little larger scale on their own. Let me see if I can find one real fast for you. They're largely compatible. And I don't put figures. I don't put those Marvel Legend figures and the Mattel figures next to each other. Let's see. Is this one a good enough picture for you? Here you go. So these look like they're 7-inch, but they're not. They're not quite 7 inches. To the left is the AEW Jake Hager figure. That looks like a regular elite. Jinder Mahal. That is an AEW Cody Rhodes. The AEW figures are way out of scale with each other. And that is the suit body Tony Stark. Now that's a smaller buck. This is a terrible. I'll try to take a picture for you. I just happen to not have any open wrestling figures in here. I'm still looking. Actually, I do. Hold on real fast. Now I've got to find a Marvel Legend figure. I knew if I looked long enough, I could find something in here. All right, so let's see here. Here's a Triple H figure. He is a basic kind of elite figure. Here's Captain Britain. So you can kind of see how they scale against each other. And like, I don't think they're 7 inches, but they're taller than a Marvel Legend figure. So maybe they scale a little bit more to 7 inches, but I guess they do scale a little bit closer to the McFarlane figure. So I guess you would say they're 7 inches, which I never really, I never put my Marvel Legends in my WWE figures. So that's what did it. Sherry, I hate the WWE figures. They look terrible in my opinion. No problem. That's your opinion. Lawson, I think Todd is looking forward to not staying up late. Personally, making all those multiverse figures, it lasts in 2026. McFarlane will be able to go to bed for well-earned rest. Shebrew, I think you mean collectors whine about everything. It's what we do. It's all we do. Sherry, I'll go in on the line. They're like the David prototype. Won't give up my DC multiverse though. Let's see. Do I still have that picture up? No. Too much like right. I'm sure some of you are like, what is he talking about with the David Vonner figure? So David Vonner showed this really cool take of what he would do with a DC license in an effort to make them like Marvel Legends. Now, this was a few years back, so of course, this is not what they would look like now, but this is what he showed. This is what he made his pitch. Like, hey, Mattel, this is relevant here, and hopefully we can kind of get Mattel like, oh, yeah, they will want something like this. Again, something like this, because now this articulation is dated. You'd love to see that cape being posable, have some soft goods, some wired elements to it, so you can get a full-on Batman posing with his cape, using it to block, draping it over his arm. You'd love butterfly shoulders on there. You'd love to see, what else? Maybe an ab crunch that's different. The full rotation on that neck joint. Maybe have that as a separate piece. But yeah, I think that's a really good starting block for DC figures. We'll see. Why is that truth? Wish I got more Mondo X-Men in 112 scale. I'd be broke in no time. Yeah, you would. Lawson, McFarlane gave us affordable Batmobiles and vehicles. We got a nice Lobo with the space cycle. We did. Daniel, what's the better play for Mattel? Going after the collector market? I should stop right there. That's the play. Because I think the kid market is shrinking. You'd have them for maybe 4 or 5 years. I think you've got collectors like our age. We'll die out eventually, but I think we'll spend more money long term for as long as we can spend money on figures. We'll do that. Oh, look, they've improved Batman's articulation slightly. I gotta buy this one. We're seeing that with Marvel Legends and Spider-Man figures. Superman's better now. It's built in. We'll do that. We'll keep buying. I think parents are far less likely. What do you mean Batman's wearing a black costume? No, you already have a Batman. So I think we have more disposable income, and I just think we're more likely to keep buying figures after a 4 to 5 year cycle where the kids start to grow up. I want to play video games. I want my phone games, and it's a wrap. So I think for them, go after the collectors. You can always do cheaper scale figures for the kids alongside your DC adult oriented collection figures. I think that's the way for them to go. Steve Nar, I'm good with this. I was never a fan of the scale or the scaling issues between figures. Batgirl should not be as tall as Batman. Agreed. Daniel, I think people will only appreciate McFarlane's DC figures if they actually collected them. I wonder how much people didn't collect them because of the 7-inch scale, enough to make a difference. Probably. And Sherry, can't believe we never got a Doom Patrol. That would have been awesome. Now they can still make Doom Patrol. That is one team that's super easy. It is one wave. It's Chief. It's Chief. It's Robot Man. It's Negative Man. And it's Elastigirl's build a figure. Or you can do Mento. You can do Beast Boy. You can do them pretty easily. Jibru, I don't want a classic Doom Patrol. I want Grant Morrison Doom Patrol. Then you got that split. And then which would people buy? Dog Avenger, McFarlane needs to invest in some rulers and protractors in order to get his scaling under control. Yes. Totally agree. Lock me down in here, says Sherry. Please let me know if I'm butchering your name. Lawson, McFarlane's turnaround time has been incredibly fast. He never made us wait too long on pre-orders. He did that kind of thing better than any other company. Absolutely. You would see the initial picture on social media. The pre-order would open the next week. 2 weeks later at most. Hey, look, I found the figures in stores. It's crazy. Yusuf, what's up, Yusuf? Yusuf? I feel like I'm butchering that name too. Please, my apologies. Hope we can get the Zoo Crew. Yes, that'd be fun. AJ, I understand the criticism on Mattel's old DC figs, but I think a lot of people need to look at the later Mattel stuff. The sculpting and articulation improved a lot towards the end of their run. It was their articulation was getting better. I think the sculpting was where they really improved because I was still trying to pose my figures and I felt like there were some limitations where it's like, oh man, I want to do this. And they couldn't quite get that done, but they were much better than in terms of sculpt, in terms of posing than those other figures. Oh man, see, this is a problem. Now I'm doing DC Multiverse. Let me try it this way. Because it was like, oh, DC Multiverse. But it's not that simple anymore. Let's do Nightwing. Nightwing would be an easy one to find here too. Speaking of which, I still need to get a McFarlane Toys Nightwing figure. Let me try this way. Because yeah, I think that's a nice kind of look at area. The Collect and Connect Nightwing figure. Now this is a really good figure and definitely my favorite Nightwing figure for a minute. I love how that blue looks. This is clean, super clean. And, you know, you see he's got some enhancements on the articulation, better than we had before. He came with Ninja Batman parts, which I was not excited about. But look at this. He looks pretty good. And the colors really do a nice job of popping. Here's a great example of what the original DC Classics Nightwing looked like. Here's the DC Essentials. You can see this is the problem with them using $1 for everybody. He's got the same mold as Superman, and his head sculpt was awesome though. And here's the DC Multiverse Mattel version of Nightwing. And you can see it's a nice looking figure. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the articulation. See a little movement there. This is the DC Direct Stargirl he's with. Here he is. And I really liked how he looked next to the DC Essentials characters. So this is the DC Essentials Batman with the DC Multiverse Nightwing. There's much better scaling there. And this is both Superman, Batman. Nightwing looks appropriately like an adult, but still shorter than Batman and Superman. I'm trying to see. And this is like a more of the DC Essentials or DC Multiverse figures from Mattel. This is Kyle Rayner. This is Batwoman. The Batwoman was really cool. Now you can see, look at these joints here. Not quite the Marvel Legends, level, but much better for DC Classics. And one more that I really liked. Here he looks next to the DC Essentials Batman. Give you a nice look at that there. So really good. See, I gotta have him standing on a peg though, on a stand on that setup. So you can do some cool poses. I can definitely see if they use this kind of the starting block for him, they could do some things, but they were much better figures in terms of posing and sculpting. I can't believe I've been on so long. Let's see here. TJ, I like McFarlane's line is not perfect, but I did not like Mattel sculpts when they had the line. Depends on how the figures look. I may be jumping off the ship as well. No, not at all. Says GMJR30. I have love for Mattel, but their toys look and feel cheap. As you know, the first two waves will be figs. I already have multiples of. I'm not into starting over with another Justice League. Lost and can't wait to get my first Absolute Kingdom Crisis Lightning Strike Batman figure. You better believe it. Sure, take one look at that Dick Grayson Batman and compare it to the one we just got. Night and day. Mattel, unfortunately, is McDonald's plastic. Oh man, that Dick Grayson from McFarlane and the Damian Wayne. It's so great to see those two together. McFarlane losing the license like when they cancel my favorite sitcom without getting a finale. No, you're getting a finale. The line is continuing on until at least the end of this year, maybe into 2026. Mattel doesn't start until June, July of 2026. So maybe that window is open for a little bit for Mattel, for McFarlane to do some DC figures the first quarter, maybe even late into May. We'll see. I'm Sherry. I never really understood the Marvel Legends versus DC scale thing. It's such a small and bizarre thing that's blown up to an insane degree. People seriously merge universes on the shelves. Gross. It is kind of funny because it's like, how often are you posing these figures against each other? Like once every 5 years. Time for multiverse collision. Jelly Jam just found McFarlane stuff at Ross today. Which ones? Sam, never mind the licenses. We got to get you out of that Lakers top and get you some proper Celtics gear. No, listen, I respect the Celtics, man. They were great. Reggie Lewis was one of my favorite players. So I was like, oh, this sucks. And I enjoyed watching them beat the Bulls. And I was like I'm cool with the Celtics until they played Kobe's Lakers, and then they had the layup drill. And I was like, oh, I can't even politely root on the Celtics anymore. Sherry, mostly bummed that I won't get in McFarlane DCU Batman. Yeah. Jibber, to be honest, Mattel just produced that canceled Rebirth Black Canary from before McFarlane got the license. It's got decent articulation, good scope from the prototype. I want to release. That whole wave was great. Eric T, the new Mattel figures will have to be pretty phenomenal for the price point for me to start over with a whole new line. I think that's going to be the really interesting thing. Ray, what's up, man? Hey, Jeff. Hey, chat. Steve Nar. I'm with AJ. I've been buying Mayfex. I'll still do so, but it'll be nice to maybe get non-Batman characters to match with my Mayfex verse. I do feel bad for the McFarlane fans, though. Yeah, they've been collecting for a minute. I mean, it's wild to see how long they've had it. I'm sure. Do you think they'll show stuff on Joe for the coming Mattel line at Toy Fair? Surely they've had to show prototypes. No, I mean, because it's not until 2026, and they won't have them until June, July. Maybe they'll show them at next year's Toy Fair, but no. Maybe we'll see some teases at Comic-Con, but I don't think the way these licenses work that they can step on the toes of the current license holder. So I don't think they can go at San Diego, hey, next year, don't buy this crappy stuff from McFarlane, buy our stuff next year instead. I think they have to wait till McFarlane's done before they can show anything. Lar A, does McFarlane still have the license for one of those Mortal Kombat games? They had it for one version, but seemingly stopped putting out figs. Plus, Jada lost their bid for Mortal Kombat, along with Storm Collectibles. Who has the license then? I didn't realize that Jada bid for it. I just thought they were not interested. Who the heck does have that license now? There was a McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat figure that showed up recently. It's a pre-order with no picture. And when I looked last week, it did not immediately show up. So the speculation and thought was maybe it came out before it was supposed to. It should be really interesting because I'm trying to find it now. That didn't work. Oh, let me see here. Mortal Kombat. Nothing is showing up, but I think they might have some access to some Mortal Kombat figures. Here's my wish list, says Ray Pass. Superman, Saturn Girl, Gorilla Grodd, and Sandman, Dream Morpheus. I wonder if they won't touch the Sandman characters because of the Neil Gaiman controversy. Squishy, what's up? Has Mattel confirmed they revive the DC Universe scale yet? Skip McFarlane 7-inch figures, waiting for 6-inch scale. No, I don't think we're going to get any word again from Mattel with anything they're doing until McFarlane is done with their figures. So we won't hear a peep. Maybe we'll hear some rumors leaked out, but they can't officially announce anything until after McFarlane's done. Let me see if I still have that window with the Mattel press release. Of course I don't. Oh, let me see here. I'm just checking real fast. I think I closed that window already. Yeah, They didn't say anything yet. So sorry. Doc Avenger. The only figure I'd buy from McFarlane now is Big Barter, which I hope he does is his swan song. Asian Gen Z. Hey Jeff, I thought you weren't live. I am live every Wednesday and Thursday. Movie Files 8:05 and every Thursday 8:05 Eastern Time, unless something's wrong. And if I have a crazy scheduling conflict that's unavoidable, I'll make sure to let you guys know that in those other instances. Henry GHF, I heard a few people mention LOD figures. What's the deal? You're my go-to guy for wrestling figures, among other things, but especially wrestling. Here you go. I just got so caught up talking about these DC figures that all this other stuff I want to talk about just kind of took the back burner. But maybe I'll do some more episodes over the weekend because I need to wind down now. So Ringside Collectibles has this new line, unsanctioned classic superstars, exclusive 2-pack, $54.99. I think they raised the price earlier, but now they're back down to $54. So they have the Road Warriors. They're starting off with Hawk and Animal. And, I'm seeing these figures. They look okay. Not like, oh man, these look amazing. Their slideshow is going nuts and bizarre. I'm just trying to get to the one picture that has both of the figures. Let me see. Did I make this tab? No. All right, let's see. All right, so here's Hawk and Animal. So you can see how they look. They look okay. I think they're great if you don't have the Mattel versions, but if you do, I don't really see the need to upgrade and get them. So they're available now on Ringside Collectibles to get right now. They're available. You don't have to delay. They're in stock, so you can get them. So if you don't have them from Mattel, go for it. Make the move. Henry G. By the way, I probably have 90% of what McFarlane did. Yeah, I mean, not bad figures to collect and go all in with. No, I mentioned Spin Master a while ago, and I don't know who was collecting Spin Master to even mention. Robin is 777. WWE generally considers 7-inch figures, but vary a lot depending on wrestler actual height. Thank you, because it's like I never compare them to another line. I just compare them to each other. So if an Undertaker is smaller than a Rey Mysterio, I've got problems. Thank you. David Thanos, I think the WWE figures are close to 6.5 inches. Nice. Sure. Since I feel like this is talk therapy, I want to thank Todd for the line that got me back into collecting. It was a big part of the hardest times in my life. McFarlane forever. I hope everything's going well for you now, my friend. JMC. What's up, Jeff and crew? What's up? Christopher Votes. How did late DC Universe Classics wave compare to same year Hasbro Legends? I'm trying to think when Marvel Legends resumed, when DC Classics wrapped up, because I think they shifted onto their online collector subscription model at that point, where it was like, you'll just have to trust that we'll do characters that you want, which was real dicey after a while. Real dicey. Carter Blake. Mattel will do these figures right, no doubt. Hopefully. Did I say Stargirl? I'm sorry. It's late. Jamelin, that's not a bad looking Nightwing. I only have 2 Nightwings in that costume, DCUC and Mayfex. The Mayfex is the best version of that figure. King Collector, why do I remember that Batwoman coming in a Clayface 2-pack? She was part of a Clayface Build-A-Figure wave. The McFarlane one came in a 3-pack with Batman. And I'm trying to see now with that, because that thing hit a ridiculous sale price where it was like, man, that's awesome. Batman, Batwoman, Clayface. This is what you're thinking of. And it was originally 70. It's on sale again, 50, 55. And that's basically what you pay for that Clayface by himself. And a Batwoman figure, this is the only time we've seen her so far. Nice looking figure. Excuse me. I think they did a really nice job getting that wig that Kate wears. Really nice job with that. Clayface, not a fan of this Clayface figure at all. And this Batman in the rebirth outfit, he's done better Batman figures. So it's like paying $50 for Batwoman. And it's like, no, thank you. I need a comic Two-Face from Todd. We do. Oh, he's actually supposed to come this year. He's one of those on the leak list that has been really right so far. So I think we're going to see him. So hopefully we do. Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Doc? Kevin V. Montague, how are you? Jelly Jam found a Batman Batcave villain hideout. A word? And 66 figures at Ross. That's intriguing. Thanks for that heads up. Christopher Vose. I for one think the Deadpool driving the 89 Batmobile looks great. The only thing that would make it better is CAG 2.0 from Ramen Toy to make it a two-seater and a Vicky Vale. DJ Jedi, Mattel's later multiverse waves were excellent. Vixen, Jessica Cruz, Rebirth, Wally West, Kid Flash, all fire. They were really good. Film set worker. I hope McFarlane is losing the DC license because they picked up the Marvel license. Really like the DC McFarlane line. Would love to see Marvel characters in that style. We'll see. Jamelin, Mattel wouldn't have any DC figures ready to show anytime soon. The production cycle doesn't go that quickly. McFarlane is probably finishing up designing their 2026 figures as we speak. Sam, Reggie was a man. He was. I hope there's a multiverse where he and Lynn Bias were hugging Naismith trophies. You have to get, man, that was good stuff. That would have been really fun to see. Lost, and those Road Warrior figures don't look bulky enough, too skinny. Yeah. King Electric, they have unsanctioned Rock and Roll Express figures. Those would be bought. Those Varsity Club, who else? Varsity Club, Doom. Yeah, I mean, they're Midnight Express. That would be a great option there. I just got the silver LOD. I already have the red elites. Hope they come out with blue ones. Those would be cool. Animal is way too slender, Ren. Hawk is too, but Animal has to be stocky. Right. Like they did a really good one in the red LOD because the first Road Warrior version Animal, he was too slender, but I don't think they had introduced that mold that they did with the LOD version of Animal, which is great for him. Things are a lot better now. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I've been holding out for a single release of Batwoman since I already had that clay face and have no interest in that particular Batman. Me too. I'm sure that Flash of Superman completely destroyed my perspective on how fast McFarlane can turn stuff around. That redesign came fast. Absolutely. Speaking of fast, this night has flown by. I can't believe it's 2 hours and just about 2.5 hours in this thing. And thank you all for tuning in and watching. This has been wow. We've been talking for a second. Floor boss. People can talk smack about Toddy Max DC all they want. He showed the world 1/12 scale vehicles can be on shelves. $400 hat tip. Absolutely. David Thanos. Sabu might be coming to that line. They also announced a bell-to-bell Sabu. I really hope we get a Sabu from them. Jamlin, there's only one part of Hulk and Animal's bodies that are slender, and it ain't slender at all. Never mind. Oh man, Lawson, Jeffrey, thank you for a great chat. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thanks for everything, Jeff. Best figure show on the planet. Well, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. This was a blast. Gonna have to do another one like literally soon because did not talk about so much other stuff, including just a real quick sample on things to talk about later. Toy fairs this weekend, so we'll be talking about some of this stuff. Mass from Loyal Subjects. Yeah, very excited about that. Maybe I'll have to wait till we see those figures, but definitely want to touch on those soon. The Walmart Collector Con, Star Wars Black, Count Dooku, Kit Fisto, R2D2 for everything that people missed out earlier, including me. These guys, we did a little video on that earlier. Cold Slither. That was fun to see. Busy week in figure collecting. Let's see. And then let's go with this picture of this guy. The Hot Toys Red Hulk. That looks amazing. So yeah. David Thanos, awesome to see all the new people. Absolutely. Come back next week, guys. Looking forward to these weekend updates, Jess. Thank you. Yes, it'll be fun. And Laurie, the mask pick does look great. All right. I've got to get to bed. I've got to get up early, 5:30 for work tomorrow. Fortunately, tomorrow's a half day, so maybe we'll start seeing some videos later on in the afternoon. But thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully, I'll see you all soon over the course of this weekend because there's a lot of stuff dropping. So we'll talk later on. But for now, this episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.